No, it's not flat. Okay, it's not flat. not flat. Okay, it's not flat.
Question whether or not I'm here for truth. Question if I was a real flat earther or not. Well, the reality of it is there are no flat earthers. There are only globe deniers. Every flat earth evidence really is just a globe phenomenon, explained by the globe. Don't you see that? See, I'm still here for truth. Now there are certain people in my way. What is up, party people? All right. So, like I promised you guys, today's going to be a special debate. Again, all part of the master plan. So, like I was saying, Slick and Right to Hand, both of you guys have the meetup link in your DMs. So go ahead and hit that, and then I'll see you guys in here. So, like I said, I wanted to start changing things up. And one of the ways that I decided to do this, and I'm pretty much announcing what I'm doing now, is I'm playing the moderation game. I'm going to basically ask random, off the wall, no reason at all people to moderate this. It will also be part of what I will soon have as a membership package, where basically you get that form of membership, and then your name will be constantly cycled, and you're going to moderate. So if you don't want to moderate, you wouldn't do that one, but stuff like that. But I'm kind of kicking it off. I kind of started off with Eyes to See. I enjoyed that debate. Not sure if anyone's realized it, but Travis has actually been it's been MIA for like 3 days now. Kind of worried about him. But again, when you guys do see him, please welcome him back to the globe with open arms. I mean, he makes great observations for the globe, great arguments for the globe. So just be ready for that. All right, let me see. What's up, Right to Hand? I kind of figured we'll definitely wait for the discussion until Slick gets here. But how you doing today? Cool. Yeah, Florida's fucking hot as shit right now, isn't it? All that humidity too. I can't stand that. But oh man, that's much better. Well, like I was kind of saying, I'm not sure if you heard or not. This is kind of like one of the kickoffs to kind of this thing. I kind of new idea I had, where I just have these random fucking people moderate these debates. Because apparently, we've had our good conversations, but then again, we've also had bad conversations. Pretty much Slick was the only person who, without saying right the hand killed you or you killed right the hand, he literally went, you guys are talking past each other. And so I decided, hey, why not have him moderate this? When he gets here, we'll kind of lay out, see what he's expecting of it. I kind of wanted him to run this one, in the sense that, therefore I cannot be the one, as he called it, starting off as judge. So I kind of get that part. So I don't want to. So that's the crux of that. And I do apologize. Audio's fixed. He wasn't saying anything. I was ranting. Let me see. Oh, right to hand is here, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. Obviously, you guys can see that on the screen. Let me see. Let me go over. I'm gonna go to Discord real quick and just see if Slick had got that message. I'm pretty sure he did. Let's see. All right, I just messaged him. He should be over soon. Okay, so like I said, I kind of would much rather wait for him to get here. It looks like he got the message. So I'm assuming maybe he's trying to get somewhere. Let me see. All right. Sorry about this in TV and YouTube land. I'm kind of getting everything set up. In GPS, I'm going to take your wrench. Let me see. All right. Like I said, the only person we are missing is the Slick James. And let me see. He better not be talking over there. Let me see. Or while we're doing that, waiting, let me say what's up to everyone. I didn't say what's up to anyone today. What's up? I'm not saying what's up to GPS. What's up, Sean Smith? What's up, Schrodinger's cat? What up, Anamorphic Mind? How you doing, my friend? What up, Wolfgang? What's up, C4s? What's up, Crash? What's up, Spirita Invictus? What up, SC Montreal? How you doing, my friend? What's up, the Random Explorer? What's up, Dr. Curious Tube? What's up, Xanos? What up, Jose? Thank you for sharing, my friend. What's up, Phil Ko? What's up, Hugo Prez? Damn, my bad. Destroyed that one. What up, Alk? What's up, Devils? That of the game cat, whatever, destroyed that one too. What up, Cyber? Let's see, anyone else? What up, Dark Seed? What up, Racer? It's been a while. How you been? Let me see. What up, Truth Stands Alone? Hey, Hannah. What up, Demon? What up, Angel of Attack? And Stinger News 1. And that is everyone. You know what? If Slick's not going to respond, I think we're going to have to start this conversation. And I think I can contain myself if need be, since he's not here. Kind of frustrates me. He knew this was important. He knew it, damn it. Let's see.
Good help is hard to find, I tell you.
Yeah. Hey, let's see who's in my chat real quick. Hey, Montreal, you want to moderate? I'm trying to find someone that would be non-biased, but more biased to your side, if need be. Let me see. No, I would let C4 moderate, but C4 yells into his microphone, even though he's not trying to. Let me see. All right, you know what? I think we're gonna have to start this. I'll pray it doesn't. God damn it! You know what? All right, Lel, you got it, buddy. Let me find you in Discord. This is gonna be amazing. I hate Lael, so I mean, just outright, that should be all right. Right to hand has left. I think it's his connection. I'm gonna have I'm gonna have Montreal do it. Chris. No, Crash. You're not allowed. Crash, you definitely cannot be a moderator. I just don't think you got it in you, my friend. Slick is in Discord. I don't see Slick in Discord. Oh, okay. I see him. I'm gonna post it right here. Okay, never mind. Slick's coming. My bad. And anyone that's in the bunker, just don't click that link until later on. But yeah, Slick's here. Let's see. Yeah, just a second, guys. Slick's here. I see him. He is going to be joining us in a moment. I get it, Jose.
Slick living up to that name, being tough to get a hold of.
Yeah, I saw him in the bunker chat. I just sent him the link there, so hopefully you'll see it there. Probably tag him because. Which one is it? All right, here we go. All right, so until Slick gets here, I was trying to look up a couple things on what we were talking about on the other stream. I'm trying to find it. Hang on. If I can't find it, I don't want to talk about it. But it had everything to do with the Einstein thing we were talking about the other day. Not you right now. I was talking about just us in a panel. But I can't find it, so it makes pointless sense. Slick is not in my DMs. He's in the bunker. I see him right now. As to whether or not he's joining, I don't know. Slick, if you're in there. Yes, Barney. And if Slick doesn't get here in like 3 minutes, you're going to, Barney. Alright, so I have sent Slick all the possible links I can find and ways to get it to him. Let me see. Where are you, Slick? Waiting on you. There he is. All right, here we go. What's up, sir?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Just hanging out, waiting on you. Just kidding. Or yeah, not we are, but it's no big deal. All right. So everyone, Slick is here. Right, the hand is here. Again, I wanted to do this more as an experiment and what could happen. Like I said, Slick was pretty much the only person that really came across as this is what I saw, and it actually was pretty non-biased as I could see it being, and also pretty damn truthful. Basically, he said that we talked past each other the whole fucking time. We did. He also said that I was the judge from the beginning, and I didn't think so, but kind of am. I mean, it is my stream, and I do go overboard sometimes. I do apologize, but I can't help it. So I decided that I think Slick should moderate this. Does Slick agree with anything I say? Almost never. Do I agree with anything he says? Almost never. Have I heard Right to Hand and Slick have the same conversation with Globers and be on the same side? Absolutely. The difference is that a moderator isn't here to win or lose. Moderator is here to make sure clarifications are accurate clarification. You know, they're rightfully asked for, and rants don't happen. Talking over doesn't happen. Slick has a big voice, so you know if we do get out of control, he can take over. Slick, I will let you know you do absolutely 100% have mute powers over both me and Right to Hand. Just so you know. So if you need to mute us or mute me, you go right the fuck ahead. But with that being said, if Slick, you're ready to go, right hand, you're ready to go, we can start.
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
Okay, cool. Slick, everything's all good so
Okay,
far?
well, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of roboting, but not a whole lot. So it seems to be good so far. I've been having trouble all day, but so far so good. So, all right. So I just want to let you know what I'm doing here. All I'm doing is just being the mediator between both of you, just to keep it fair and make sure that both people don't talk over each other. And just like you said, make sure that you're both clear on points. Other than that, I have no sides whatsoever. Both of you guys are equally as cool with me. So that's how that goes.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. Let me go ahead and I got a couple super chats that I'll read before we start off. Chris, Vic is Mr. Victory, says, for pineapple on pizza, won the debate. You're lying. Okay. GPS. Oh, damn it. Thank you, GPS. GPS says, hashtag team right the hand over and over again. So GPS is on your side, right the hand. But then again, he likes pineapple on pizza, so he probably doesn't have a good judge of character. Let me see. Okay, that's it for right now. And if anyone does do any more super chats, I will wait until it's evenly done. Like, if it happens when I'm talking, I'm gonna let right the hand go through, and then I'll do it. But I'm not gonna just instantly do them, just so everyone knows. And Captain Bullshit, got you there. Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay, so one of the issues that I've been having with our discussions right to hand is clarification. If it's all right with you, I'd like you to kind of give me an understanding to why you have issues with how we term things and describe things.
Well, because when you start using words in any capacity except to describe specifically what you saw, you leave reality and you enter a conceptual idea of what you think should happen. And that's based on the individual.
What constitutes reality versus non-reality?
I mean, reality is that which can be sensed and experienced.
Touched, seen? Like I just kind of get an understanding.
So I'll break it down. If you, even in your model of the five senses, every single one of them is touch.
What do you mean?
Okay, so let's go one by one. We'll start with the simplest, touch, your hand, right? You touch an object. Okay, that's touch. Taste, isn't that just touch? Isn't your tongue touching fruit?
Yeah, I could say that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so taste is down. Now smell, in your world, isn't the smell when your receptors in your olfactory, which is in your nose, olfactory, factory smell, little mnemonic, when those receptors are touched by some sort of outside material and it generates what would be a unique smell?
I guess.
Okay, so that's three. So we got three touches. So, okay, what left? Hearing, right? Isn't hearing the sound wave touching the wave of whatever medium is being disturbed to create sound touching your eardrum?
Yeah.
Okay, and now fine. Remember, now I left this one for last because this is your model, and I don't really, I don't subscribe to this model, but I do subscribe to the sight. You believe that the photon is touching your eye, and that's how you get the new information.
Okay. Just so I'm clear, the senses that you were describing before are how you describe it, right? Because you just stated that it was in my model, but I'm asking about your model.
Only the eye one.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask for. So
yeah, all the others I agree with on the foundation of them.
Would you consider photons? Would you consider photons just be light?
I don't consider light to be something that is separate from matter.
What do you mean?
So okay. So for example, let's say, let's keep it simple. I see a rock. So in my world, in my world, there isn't a rock and light, which the light interacts with the rock as two separate things. To me, in my world, there is only the illuminated rock and a rock that I can't see because it's dark. So you either see the rock because of illumination, or you don't see the rock. There's no other. It's not like, oh, you see the rock because, because then you're going to start getting into the cause. Because you see the rock because you're telling me the cause.
Well, it would be because you're the photons, quote unquote, would be hitting your eyes, correct?
No. Well, show me show me this photon bouncing and then coming back.
No, I can't. I'm just saying that's what you're saying. You're saying when you're
That's
saying
your
the
model.
whole. No, okay, but I was just clarifying that that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
so
I don't describe to the photon.
okay, but how do you see something?
Do you understand how like weird that question is? You're like,
Well,
me and you were
kind of.
standing here. You're like, how do you see that? I'm
well,
like, I see it. Ask my brain. It's doing all the work.
That's
I'm
kind
just
of
seeing
what
what I see.
well, that's kind of what
Okay,
I'm
guys,
trying
guys,
to
hold
understand.
up.
Mhm.
Hold
Yeah.
on 1 second. Just because you guys are starting to talk over each other. So just
Hmm?
just for clarity's sake, I want to know if both of you guys are on the same page. Is that you observe reality through the senses? So how you observe it, exactly what's happening, is that really an issue, or is that going to be a problem? In other words, you both observe reality through the senses. That's something that you both can understand, right?
Yes.
So was
Okay.
it possible to just kind of pass that and go on to the next?
Yeah. You're kind of choppy, but I did get you going to the next point. I get it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no problem. Okay. So in that sense that you're saying that we see everything's done with our senses. So then
You're
establishing.
asking me about how we know what reality was. And
Yes.
That's how I was saying. That's how we know.
Okay. So just basically, if we're possibly able to use our senses for this, then we can classify it as reality.
Well, because you can't describe something you can't observe. So if you're going to be like, so when we start describing things, you're going to be like, okay, what is this like? And I'm gonna be like, well, I could show it to you in real life, or I can use words to describe it, but I can't describe it unless I can see it.
So, okay, I see.
Or,
So you have to make the observation.
hold on, not just see. You have to sense it in some capacity.
Yeah.
Because there's things you don't see, but
yeah. No, when you said that, I completely took all the senses, and then if we have to nitpick which sense, I get it. I get that part. And in that sense, then okay. So we nitpick. Okay. So in that sense, we definitely would have to make observations to figure things out. In what you're saying.
Yeah, the observation is like, that's the biggest part of the reality. I think sight, wouldn't you agree that sight is probably the biggest?
Yeah.
Smell. Okay, I could live without the other. If I had, I'd give up all the other fours before I gave up sight.
It's kind of like, would you know an apple tastes like an apple if But yeah, I get it. Cool. All right. And that then obviously the more you observe something, the better. I would think, right?
Well, you could observe more effects, which gives you a deeper understanding. Like if you just seen a rock fall to the floor, right? And then we were kind of hanging out at the pool, if you didn't know anything about how rock interacts with water, you would think it's going to fall to the floor of the pool the same as it did or you might think it float. You know what I mean? So, but then you see, it does fall, but slowly. Okay, so now that you've made the observation, now your knowledge base is expanded based on the effects that you have observed.
Why would it move slower?
See, and now I could get, because the medium is thicker. Now you can say, why is it thicker? And then we get into this just
brain fart. Brain fart. My bad. That was my bad.
So you see, it's like, I don't want to just keep saying, you can always just say why. And, like I could do the same to you. Well, explain why does mass bend space time? There's just certain, like at a certain point, you just can't be like, we don't know yet, So my point is, after the observations are all said and done, we can't see a lot of the fundamental processes, so those need to be made up.
Yeah. Well, but you can observe rocks, right?
Yeah. You can't observe why they fall, though. Only that they do.
Well, why do they?
That was my point. You cannot observe why something happens. You can only observe, because when you talk about cause and effect, right? Like you can only observe the effect because the effect isn't the cause. So you can't observe the cause. The cause is always going to be the why that you ask based on what you couldn't see.
Would there be a situation where you could explain the cause and effect of something?
And that's, I would, to keep it simple, you would, you come home, there's a ball, there's broken glass, right? You know, you could be
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I can explain, you know, but again, you weren't there to see it happen. So did somebody break the glass and then put the ball there to throw you off? You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
this is why it's like, it's very difficult to just look at just what you have and then be like, well, this happens because of, you know, and then you only use the information from the direct observation.
But why? What if you wanted to? But what if you wanted to know why X broke?
I think that you would have to admit there will come a time when you won't be able to know anything more than what you can take in through your senses.
Yeah. You can't know further than your knowledge, I guess, right?
Yeah, and your knowledge is based on your senses.
But how do your senses know?
You know, and see, this is like a how. That's almost a tougher question than how do you see? You know, that's like, how is your body manifesting consciousness so that you can experience life to observe these realities? You know, and you hate when I say it, but this is where I'm like, okay, well, God starts explaining these things a little bit better than the cosmic car accident. You know, and I know you don't like God; you think it's a cop out. But,
no!
You know,
Wait! Let's just. It has nothing to do with not liking God. I promise you that.
As an explanation.
Okay. I get it. Better said. I just don't want people to be like, oh, Sean. No, definitely not.
No, I mean, look, I could totally understand where if it's like, okay, why does this happen? I'm like, well, because God. And then you're just like, bro, you're not giving me anything. And I'm like, my point is that, like, what I want to try and establish is that, like, we both have the observations. The only time I'm going to start coming in with something that you're like, well, what the fuck? And you, God, what do you mean? When it gets to the point where we can't observe it anymore. And then we need to come to some kind of, you know, you would have to agree that if we can't observe it, we have to come to a logical conclusion, right? Like, you see the ball, you see the window. Okay, so, you know, I start going, okay, if, you know, matter is not eternal. It had to have either spontaneously appeared, right? It's either eternal, which is impossible, or it spontaneously appeared. Now, this is a conundrum for your model, a pure materialistic, without any supernatural explanations for anything. You're going to be like, well, yeah, there was nothing, or the things were, you know, you have to tread this line of inexplainability, you know, and then once you get past that.
What do you mean by supernatural? I don't, you mean phenomena or supernatural?
Well, we have never seen matter just spontaneously appear. So if that happened, that would be supernatural because we've never seen it in nature. So for Earth to...
But who says that matter came from nothing?
Well, matter, will you agree that to describe the matter that's on Earth, like all the stuff that makes up Earth, there's only one of two origins of its source. It's always been here, or it appeared at one time. Like, there's nothing else.
Well, like,
there is, please inform me.
Would a car be like? Would you consider a car to be like that, or are you saying like a tree trees weren't always here? Like, I'm kind of
like the car is made out of metal that somebody dug into the ground to get. Now, where did that metal come from? Was it always here, or did it spontaneously appear in space one day?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, hold on. Now, here's where I'm like, okay, now you'll always say, oh, we got these explanations. Now, I know you have no
I have no
explanation.
An explanation. Okay.
Doesn't an intelligent designer who created the Earth at a moment when he wanted to explain perfectly how matter was not here and then was here and explains life? So
have you experienced matter? Well, I'm confused because you said that matter can't be just created. We never observed it. And then you're saying that it was. So in your argument, the way you're describing things, then wouldn't that be a non-realistic thing?
No, because if all logical possibilities, again, and this, if you want to debate this, sure. If all logical possibilities are exhausted, okay, then the only logical possibility is an illogical one. So if we have this rock, right, and we're sitting here and I'm like, where did it come from? Now, you can't tell me it's eternal. Like, it hasn't been here forever. Like, that is, can we agree that infinity is cannot be a thing?
I couldn't verify that. That it is.
So you think that, yeah, So so the rock existing forever cannot be verified. Okay. So now we have to come to some kind of conclusion where it came from. You can either just say, I don't know, which I'm like, yeah, that's, to me, that seems like you're not trying, you know, whereas if I'm like, I believe a creator can explain how matter was just here in a snap.
Okay. Well,
and there is no other explanation.
I asked you what constitutes as matter, right? And you said, okay, yeah, it was, okay, never mind. Yeah, perfect, got it. Backtracked, remembered everything. My bad. Okay, so in that sense, then when we make an observation and you said that we can, if there is no logical reasoning behind it, that we would have to assume a creator did it. What makes the reality of that tangible? Now, when I ask that, it's not how do you know? It's more what observations do you make that explain that it is a creator rather than it being a cause?
Because one, the intelligent design. Okay, so like DNA, these are like codes, right? You could call it code, you could call it whatever you want to call it, but it's a uniqueness. Like each person is unique. Now, I don't understand how you can have a uniqueness. Like if you took a whole bunch of marbles and shook them up, you wouldn't have anything unique. And the uniqueness is not just matter, right? Like you cannot explain my consciousness with pure matter. Right? You can't just say, well, if you take a whole bunch of human goop, put it together, it starts having thoughts. Now, so thoughts are non-physical. Well, so you only have a physical world to explain things in. I don't.
Is energy matter?
Energy is a concept word to describe what matter does.
What is a concept word then?
Concept words are words that don't have a real life tangible counterpart that can be experienced.
What do you mean?
So if I said apple, right, you would be, apple, yes, is a word, but in reality, there is a red object that we can sense through our senses that grows on trees and taste and touch and smell that we call an apple. So
I don't call it an apple, though. I call it a mollusk because that's the mollusk palmus.
Okay, well, you call it whatever you want.
That'd be the scientific term for it, at least.
That's sure, but the word that you call it is ever changing, and the object is not. You get what I'm saying?
What do you mean the word is? No, I don't understand. The words are ever changing.
Okay, so in Spanish, it's not the same word, right? Spanish doesn't use apple. Use a different word.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. But
it's talking about the same object.
Okay,
so the object that doesn't change.
Okay, so
now energy is not an object you can show me.
Okay, well, okay. I was going to ask.
Gentlemen, I just need this. Gentlemen, hold on. I just need to step in a little bit. Okay, this conversation is a little bit one-sided, so we need to let Sean have a little bit more input so that he can kind of state his case, so that you guys are kind of on the same page.
Well, the problem with me stating my claim is I'm trying to get the understanding of where my claim can go. I had a couple more questions for him. Just then I can actually start stating more. In your explanation of intelligent design, can you give me an example of intelligent design that we can observe?
Yeah, I mean, you got the day-night cycle, how it, we sleep during the night.
No, I'm sorry. I meant actual tangible situation where we've been able to observe a creator creating an intelligent design.
In reality?
Yeah.
So a human making a simulation would be a creator creating something with intelligent design. So like a video game, that's intelligent designed in our reality. And our reality behaves exactly the same. There's rules, there's laws, it's observed, you can move through it. So why would you think that something that needed to be designed by a human with intelligence and, to function in the exact same capacity that our reality functions, yet the reality doesn't need intelligent design, but the simulation does. Okay,
so now that you've stated that we can use untangible, or how do I say this? Okay, so you gave the basically the description of things that are explainable through cause and effect, and if they're not, then it can only be done through intelligent design, which you've stated it would be God. But you've now stated that man can create through intelligent design. So I just wanted to establish that as in that it doesn't have to be a God. It can be a creator of something, right?
Well, it's not a human. A human didn't make Earth.
No, but you said that Earth can only have been made by intelligent design, and then you stated that only God had made it through intelligent design. But then you also stated that, and for reality, humans can do the same thing.
Well, humans are intelligent.
So we can. Okay, so then we are capable of creating things through intelligent design.
But we didn't create Earth.
I didn't say we created Earth. I was just asking the simple question: are humans able to create through intelligent design?
That's how we do create.
Okay.
Well, we actually recreate. You know, we take what is already here and manipulate it. We don't create from nothing.
If anything, we better understand it, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, because it's everything that's here is here, and it's going to work the way it works. You'll just find out about it.
But we just give it names.
Sure, that's that's just because there's other people. If it was just you alone in the world, you wouldn't need to name anything.
Okay.
Because you would know in your head what everything is. So words are only for communicating with other people.
Perfect. Okay, so I guess we can go into my claims. All right. Now that we've established where you stand in this whole argument, we were talking gravity. I know it's just a word for me and right the hand to communicate and have the same name for the topic we're talking about. But I wanted to talk more about the effects that we understand and why we gave it this conceptual name. What is your issue with the conceptual name of that we gave, or the effects that we gave this conceptual name of gravity?
I don't disagree with any of the effects because the effects are what you observe. Okay, so all of that is, and if you want to call a rock falling down gravity, okay, I have no problem with that. My problem comes in when you start saying that rock falls because.
Well, I didn't say because. So
well, gravity is a cause.
So gravity is with your understanding, gravity is as gravity is.
Well, remember when we talked about the words and how you can show me, I can show you the apple outside of a thing falling. Can you show me?
I prefer you to call it a mollusk.
Yeah.
I like the scientific term for it.
Okay, that's hard for me. I got a white mouse.
The thing is that scientific name isn't changed. It's not, whether it's Spanish, German, it doesn't matter. The scientific name for an apple is the same throughout the world. So we can establish that it's not it's a conceptual name either.
Sure, but you can't do that with gravity. Like, you can't show me gravity.
Say again?
You can't show me gravity. You can just show me the apple falling.
I can show you effects.
Yeah, and those effects, effects is a conceptual word. What you actually saw, tangible, is the apple falling.
Well, I thought you said that. I thought you said we were able. I thought you said that the effects were real. Mm-hmm. So then it's not a concept. It is real. We are able to see it, touch it, smell. Right?
Yes, an apple falling is real. You can sense that 100%, and I don't disagree.
No. I was talking about the effects.
Effects of what? Effect is a conceptual word.
No, it's not. It's not.
When you say effect.
Okay, guys, wait a minute. Guys, can I interject? Guys, can I interject? Because this is where you're talking past each other. Okay, the thing is, yes, it is an effect. When you observe something happening, you are observing an effect. So, like if an apple falls, that is an effect. The apple fell. Now, what you guys are not on the same page with is called effect.
You're cutting out, Slick.
He said the cause of it. He said we're not in agreement on the cause of the effect. And I agree. We both agree on the effect. We don't agree on the cause.
I haven't stated any cause. What I was establishing is that because you said that effects were a concept, but because you've established what is real and what is not real, then the effect is 100% real because we can feel the effects. We can touch we can see the effects. We can, your taste buds and everything. Go ahead.
Can you see just an effect? Like a standalone, show me just, no other things, just an effect?
Yes.
Okay, so go.
A flag blowing in the wind.
Okay, see, now you didn't show me an effect. You took an object and you showed me an object. That's not an effect. That's an object you showed me. So show me an effect without an object. That's your claim.
Okay, yes. Is wind real?
I can feel wind.
Okay.
That's an effect.
Can you see wind?
And when it's cold out,
No. Well,
that's wind, though. You're not showing me an effect.
Can you see?
Effect doesn't move a sailboat, Sean.
Well,
wind does.
I'm okay. Can you see wind?
When it's cold, yes. And you can remember, seeing is not the only. It's touch. We can touch. I went over, and that's why I went over the senses with touch.
Can you give me an example of when you see wind?
When it's cold out and breathe out, you can see
that's
your
not
breath. But that's not Sean,
wind. That's not
Sean.
wind. Sir,
Okay.
that's
let me clarify then. Let me clarify. We touch wind. Remember when I said sense?
Feel.
Senses wasn't just observation.
You're
you
right.
can feel. You can touch wind. So can I touch an effect? Show me just an effect that I touch, not an object.
Or feel. Can I use your feel one?
It's all touch. Whatever you want. You just can't use an object. It has to be solely an effect.
Weight.
Weight of what?
My weight.
That's you. You're an object.
That's me feeling the effect.
No, that's you getting on a scale and your body, which is an object, producing weight. So you feel you.
1 second. Slick, I just wanted to get clarification. Moments ago, I could have swore he had stated that he can feel the wind, therefore he can. It's the effect. He doesn't always. It's not something you always see.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's why you're. Am I coming through clear or am I breaking up?
Nope. I hear you.
Okay. So like I said, you guys are talking past each other. That's why we want to get clarity. There is a such thing as an effect. Now, when you brought up the flag blowing in the wind, well, the wind is affecting the flag and that's causing it to blow.
Yes.
So if the flag is just sitting there, the flag is just sitting there. If you see that flag starting to move because of the wind, well, now you're seeing an effect. So the effect is real. Period.
Okay. Thank you. So in that sense, I can see the effects of why things things falling.
I got to disagree. I got to disagree. An effect is a general statement. Okay, do you agree?
Moments ago you said you feel the effect.
Come on, Sean. I don't.
No, hold on, guys. Hold on. No, just keep it down. Keep it calm.
Is an effect a general term to describe many different things you can experience, or is an effect a very specific thing you experience?
An effect is something you would experience.
Do you experience an effect, or do you experience the actual different objects in reality, which you then label generally all of them as an effect? For example, here, I can drop a rock. I can drop a rock. I can throw a rock. I can kick a rock. Those are all quote unquote effects. They're not all the same thing. The word effect is just describing conceptually what I'm doing. Specifically, what I'm doing is throwing a rock, kicking a rock. Conceptually, I'm doing effects.
Okay.
So an effect is not real.
This. Hold on.
Okay, but
hold on 1 second. Try this. Just hold on, Sean. 1 second. Try this. Right to hand. Do you remember a second ago when Sean brought up the idea about the flag blowing in the wind? Remember that just a few seconds ago?
Yeah.
Okay. What Sean is saying is that the effect of the flag blowing, that's the effect. Because when the flag is just sitting still hanging, the flag is just sitting there. But if that flag all of a sudden changes and starts making a motion, well, that is an effect. Something is causing that to happen. So that's what he's describing as an effect. He's visualizing a change. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so I'll respond with, is the flag sitting there not moving? Is that something we observed and happening?
Yes.
Yes, right. Yes, I'm sorry.
So that's an effect too. So that's the observation. So if we just sit and stare at a flag, we are observing an effect.
Yes.
Because nothing is static. It's ever changing, right?
I would say, well, for me, I would say that the reason that a flag sitting still or laying still or, hanging down without any wind is because why isn't it floating up? I would say that there's an effect that I'm witnessing still.
Okay, but still, what do we have outside of the observation of the effect?
I feel the effect.
Yeah, but
that's the same thing. Yeah. My bad.
We sense
my apologies.
So what do you have? Huh? What do you have in terms of cause?
Well, the reality of it is I don't need anything besides, as you've already stated, as long as it's part of our senses, it's real. So that means
Yeah.
an effect
Once
is
again-
real. That would make an effect real.
Once again, you guys, I'm sorry, guys. Once again, you're moving past your point because right now you have to establish that you both understand what an effect is. Now, once again, with the flag, when the flag is sitting still, it's sitting still. Now, if that flag changes, in other words, if that flag all of a sudden starts flapping, well, that is an observation that went from being still to now moving. Now, that is effect. That is an effect, and both of you guys need to be on the same page.
Yes.
That is an effect.
Okay.
RTH, do you understand that change is what the effect is?
So then
Yeah, I
would
agree. We call that change an effect, but when you say effect, that's not the physical process which made the flag wave. You're just describing the waving of the flag.
Okay.
The wind moving is the physical process which made the flag.
Can you see wind?
You can touch it. You experience it.
So you feel the effect, but you don't.
We feel
but you
the
don't-
wind. No, we
but
feel.
yeah,
We
okay.
feel the wind.
Yeah, but you do not see it.
No, you don't
Okay.
have to see everything. You can,
Okay. So then if a flag is static, what causes the flag to start waving?
You can't. When you say why, do you mean the physical process? Do you mean like there was a piece of physical matter that touched the physical matter? Are you trying to get me to tell you specifically, mechanically, how that flag went from non-moving to moving? Or are you asking me to just use words to describe the flag was laying limp at the flagpole, and then out of nowhere, it suddenly started moving, and it was fully elongated? So what are you looking for? You looking for me to describe verbally what I saw, or are you looking me to tell you how it happened mechanically?
Yeah, the cause.
Hold on. So how it happens mechanically.
The cause.
Okay, what do you mean by the cause?
What made the flag start moving?
Okay, so you want to know, so just to clarify, you want to know the mechanical processes that happened that got that flag from static to moving.
I don't need to know the mechanics, just the general reasoning.
The wind blew.
So the cause of the flag moving was the wind.
When you say call, okay, you could call it whatever you want.
Yeah,
The flag was not moving. We're
The
describing.
wind.
Do you understand how we're describing with words what we see?
No, I get that, but I just wanted to clarify that the cause of the flag moving is wind. Then we can move past the
Okay,
wind.
now, okay, when you say cause, I'd be like, okay, I would go, well, why did the wind blow? Because you don't really know the cause until you can stop asking why.
Yeah.
Right. So why did the wind move?
Yes, that's a good
flag?
question. Why did the wind
Okay,
blow?
now hold on. Once again,
But
you guys
hang on. Nope, I got to do this.
Okay, but I'm trying to moderate for you.
I know, but I got to say this, so I'm going to forget it. Do you need to know what caused the wind, or what caused the wind to blow to know the wind blew the flag?
When you start getting to cause, how deep is your quote unquote cause?
Well,
like how deep is that word cause?
Well, you asked what then. If we're looking so deep into it, then you would have to find the cause of that. Okay, so then do you need to know what caused the wind to know that the wind blew the flag?
If you wanted to say why the wind moves the flag, you would have to explain to me the mechanical process. If you want me to just describe conceptually that the flag was waving, then I can do that. And no, you don't need to know. I don't need to know where the wind is coming from, or if the wind is bouncing little atoms, or if it's a fluid moving, to know that if I feel it coming and there's a flag over there, the flag will start waving. Like, this is just knowledge on the behavior of the earth. Now, you can't tell me why.
Okay.
That's just observation.
Well, yeah. Well, so that's go ahead.
I need to check. Okay.
You're breaking up.
Where we
You're breaking up.
I'm breaking up again. Okay. Still. Well, I'm just gonna have to let you guys carry on because I can't get through enough. So
my
guess
bad.
you have to do the best you can.
Well, just jump in if we do something stupid. We start doing it again. Okay, it's perfect that you stated that, and everyone's heard that we don't need to know we don't need to know the cause of the wind to know that the wind blew the flag. So then we can go back to the explanation that we originally started with when it comes to gravity and why I understand it's gravity based on my understanding of it and not a faith. But did you want to start in that now?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Okay. So
now, before you guys go to that, can
yes.
you hear me right now, or am I breaking up?
You know, you're good to go.
Okay.
No,
Now,
you're good.
do you both agree that the wind caused the flag to move? Do you both agree on that point?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so
What about you, right?
I do, as long as nobody starts saying, oh, well, the wind is this. You know what I mean? If you start saying, well, the wind is a little gas molecule, you know. So as long as we're just saying, look, I saw that, the wind did it, I'm good with that.
Yeah, right. So in other words, just for the sake of the conversation, I'm only trying to make sure both of you guys are on the same page, so that when you go further, you'll be on the same page. So we both understand that there is a cause and effect. The effect of the flag sitting there, and then the wind came along and caused it to move. So we have a cause and effect. Carry on.
Yes. And I will also concede that we do not need to know the source of that wind to know that it moved it, just in case. Okay, so I have stated numerous times that we know that we've given this name, gravity, to the effects that we see and observe. I would like you to state the problem with gravity. Is it just the name and all the mechanics are good?
No, the mechanics, once you start telling, it's like with the wind. If you want to call the wind that moved the flag wind, I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. If you want to say, well, wind is nitrogen, oxygen, helium, you know, I'd be like, whoa. You're putting in a whole bunch of things that I never saw. I saw the flag. I felt the wind that we're calling wind. I didn't see this oxygen atom. I didn't see this hydrogen atom. So when we translate that to gravity and you're like, okay, rock falls. I see that. Now when you're like, oh, well, there's a mass, there's an attraction of mass. I go, whoa, wait, I didn't see that. I only saw the rock fall. Where is this?
No, you did.
I didn't know. I saw a rock fall. You're manifesting an attraction from the earth.
Okay, did you see the rock fall to the ground, or did you see the rock fall somewhere else?
Obviously, it fell to the ground. We can observe that. We don't disagree on the observation.
Okay, so when someone says mass attracts mass, what would you imagine objects doing in that situation?
Well, first, I don't think mass attracts mass, and second, you're saying that matter, right? That's because mass is a collection of objects, whatever. So you're going to say you take a whole bunch of dirt, you stack it in a pile, and then it has this pulling force. And I'm like, what is that? Where do you get that from?
Well, I was asking, when you drop a rock, you do observe mass attracting mass. You observe the rock hitting the earth, surface of earth. So then I asked, I'm trying to think of a better way of saying it. Okay, so where have you seen if mass attract mass in your conceptual idea of it, what would you imagine objects doing?
I don't live in this imagination world, man. I live in reality, and if you can't show it to me in reality, it's not real.
Okay, so I can show you the effects of gravity,
which is
things falling at the same rate.
Okay. I
can show you mass attracts mass. I can show you.
Well, where do you show me that? And what is mass? Define mass first. And we'll walk this. We'll dance this dance.
Well, hang on, because I don't want to jump away from it. I just want to establish, because what I'm trying to do now is establishing that whether or not you agree with everything gravity states, or you just have the problem with the name. Because
it's the mechanics.
Perfect. Okay. Well, we can observe all the mechanics that are described.
You don't observe mass attracting mass. You observe a rock falling.
Okay. When you hear mass attracts mass, what do you imagine happening? And I know you said you don't live in an imaginary world, but you do. But you observe this.
But I don't.
Okay.
I don't observe it, because if I hold on, let me think.
Yeah,
if I observed it, you wouldn't ask. If I observed it, you wouldn't ask me to imagine it. You would say, "This is it."
Okay, you're right. When a rock falls to the surface of Earth, you are witnessing mass attracts mass.
No, I'm witnessing
Okay,
a
now
rock
hold
falling.
it.
You witness.
Hold it.
You witness.
This is this is this is where I have to interject because right now you guys are talking past each other because Sean, what you're doing right now is when we used our flag example, like with the wind, remember we said we saw the effects of the wind, but nobody's going to try to describe what the wind did. Now that's what you're doing right now. What you're doing now is discussing the mechanics. You're getting past the right. So you're just moving a little bit too quickly.
But he asked me for those. Or you said that's what he had a problem with.
I'm
sorry.
No, in other words, see, we're discussing cause and effect. So you both see the effect. The rock falls. Now you both agree that that's the effect, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now the issue is the cause. Now that's what you have to hash out. What is the cause? Now is the cause something that has been established, or is it somebody just deciding what the cause is? And I think that's where you guys are having an issue. So go ahead, carry on from there.
I will give an example of why gravity is the cause for why a rock falls, and why we are able to see the effect. And I will use it by conceptually using a different word. I experience rocks falling because of the wind. I cannot see the wind. I can feel the wind. I can see the effects of the wind, but I do not know where the source of that wind came from. All my winds are gravities. What did I say wrong in my statement?
Bro, are you just replacing the word wind with gravity?
I'm replacing the word gravity with wind. Because we've established wind is real. We've established you can't see the wind, but we can see the effects of the wind. We don't need hang on. We don't need to know the source of that wind to know that this wind moved that flag. So everything I just stated is the exact same thing, just replaced it with gravity.
It's not because you can touch wind. You can't touch gravity.
Again, you can touch wind, or do you
hold
feel
on,
the
hold on,
effects?
Sean.
Yes.
When you say, hold on.
Slow down.
When you say it's exactly the same, okay? Wind, you can touch. Wind touched the flag to move it. We agree on that.
Wind affected the flag.
It did by touching it, right?
You know how did it touch it? I mean, we
Sean,
can get to the mechanics of it.
Shit? Look, Sean,
Wait, what?
are you going to be a 4-year-old?
Okay, guys, hold on. Let's not take it there. Hold on.
Sean,
Right the hand.
hold on.
It.
He's wasting my fucking
time. No, there is no hold on.
Did the wind, Sean, did the wind touch the fucking flag or not?
Listen, like I said, I'm the moderator. So when I say hold on, it doesn't mean just talk all over me. Now, we're trying to slow this down and have a conversation, so there's no need to let it get out of hand. Because let me explain something to you. He who falls apart and gets out of hand, they lost this debate. So if you don't want to lose a debate like that, keep it to a conversation. And when I say hold on, halt, I'm the moderator. That's what I mean to do. So I want to get this back on track. Let's calm it down.
So answer the question. Sean, does the wind affect the flag by touching it?
Yes.
Okay, so now, does gravity touch the rock?
Yes. In the same sense? In the same sense?
No.
Yes.
I feel the wind, Sean. I don't feel gravity. So you
weight.
Weight is me. I'm feeling me. Hold on. All right. Give me a minute because you're in a circle. You're in a loop of a circle, and I'm going to explain it to the audience how you got fooled by reality. So what you're doing is you're trying to manifest something that isn't there, right? You're saying gravity is like wind, even though I can touch and experience wind, but I can't touch and experience gravity. And then you go, you want to touch gravity, step on a scale. No, that's me touching the scale, experiencing the scale, touching my shoes, my sock. So now, Sean, last chance, show me gravity, not me standing on a scale.
You've already stated that I went in circles.
You can't. Just say you can't, Sean.
Right the hand.
Say you can't.
Right the hand. Take it easy, guy. We're just having a discussion. You're getting way too excited, and that's what makes the conversation go out of control. No, he's not playing a part. He's just doing his thing and you're doing yours. If you're going to just start screaming and yelling, now it just gets out of hand. It's unnecessary. Now, I'm going to help get it back on track. and listen to this. Now, when just take it easy. Just got to slow down, guy. Now, when the flag was sitting still, it was sitting still. Now, the wind came along and moved it. So now you can know that the wind was the cause because you can do an experiment and see what happens when the wind blows. When the wind is still, the flag didn't move. When the wind started blowing, the flag moved. So now you can do a cause and effect relationship. Now, I think what Right to Hand is having a problem with, Sean, is that where is your experiment to be able to show that gravity is doing this? In other words, you have to show the cause and effect. Like, can you turn this gravity off so that you can see what happens when the gravity is off and when the gravity is on, like the wind? And that's why you guys are not on the same page right now. So carry on.
Okay. So in that, I pose an issue to that alone because we can't turn the wind on and off. We just experience it as it is. When it comes to the conversation of the gravity and tests, I can take various size rocks and test them to see if they fall. Yes. I can test them to see if they fall at the same rate. Yes. I can test them in water to see if they still fall. They still do. Do they fall at the same rate? These are all the things I can do to test to verify whether or not I'm seeing the effects of gravity, or am I seeing the effects of, say, a very strong wind or or heavy rain that's pushing down on these. Like, I can distinguish between whether or not it's these other effects, or I can distinguish whether or not it's the effect in which we've established as gravity.
Hold on. Let me say to that. Can you turn gravity off so that when you let go of a rock, it doesn't fall, so that you know gravity is the cause?
We cannot turn off gravity the same way you cannot turn off wind.
Okay, wait. I can turn off wind. You know what a house is, right?
You can't turn off wind. That's blocking wind.
Okay, hold on. So if I block the wind, will it not influence an object?
Okay. Perfect. Actually, I can.
Oh no! Wait, Sean. Answer. No. I need an answer. I wasn't looking for you to monologue. I'm going to ask it again. An answer. Can I block an object with steel, metal, and welding fabrication so that the wind cannot affect it? Yes or no?
You'd have to give me a setup. I don't understand what you're saying.
Come on. This
you can't.
Slick. This guy doesn't know. We can't make a windproof bunker. Sean, come on. Come on, Sean. Be honest.
That's not
Be
turning.
honest,
That's
Sean.
Right to hand. This is not necessary, guy. You're taking it to
look
a
at
level
him.
that
He's saying he doesn't. He's saying he doesn't know if we can block the wind. Oh, you have to tell me the setup. I don't know.
That's not what I said.
Right to hand. Right to hand. Listen,
that's
guy.
4 years
right to
old.
hand. I don't want to. Right to hand. Listen, I'm just muting you for a second because, like I said, this is uncalled for. We're having a conversation. If you're just going to start insulting and calling a man names and 4 years old, then you've already lost because you're the one that's getting triggered.
I'm asking him if we can block the wind, and he goes, "Well, what do you mean, bro?
No.
I just told you. Can I build a structure of steel, welding joints that completely blocks wind from an object? Yes or no? Are humans physically capable of doing that feat, Sean? Yes or no? Don't monologue. Yes or no?
I right to hand. Like I said, dude, you are getting out of hand, man. This is not how
he's
this
not.
goes.
Let him answer.
We're having
Sean.
a conversation.
So let him answer.
Listen. Right to hand. Don't unmute yourself this time. I'll unmute you because, like I said, dude, this is how the conversation gets out of hand. Now, so far, Sean has been nice and calm. He's having a conversation. He's not raising his voice. He's not calling you 4-year-olds and all that. You can't force him to give you an answer that you're looking for. You have to let him be himself. Now, carry on, but just keep it respectable. Come on, man.
Okay, so I'm just going to say this. Sean, if you cannot agree that humans can block the wind from influencing an object, I don't think you're capable of mentally of having this conversation. So, are you aware that humans can build a physical structure around an object to prevent the effects of the wind? Are you aware of this?
Yes, we can block wind. Okay,
stop. Now, can you do that to gravity?
You cannot turn off the wind, though.
I didn't ask you about the wind. Hold on. I asked you about gravity.
I'll moderate for you right there. Sean, what he's asking you is about gravity. See, with the wind, The wind sometimes blows, sometimes it doesn't. So you can
Correct.
see its effects. Right. So what he's asking you is about gravity. He's
Yes.
asking you, does gravity sometimes turn off so you can see its effects when it's on and when it's off? This is the point that he's trying to get you to answer.
Okay. There are situations and you can change to see that there are changes in the effect in gravity, which I understand. For instance, on the surface of Earth.
Hold on. Let me stop you there. I didn't ask that. I didn't say, can you change? Hold on.
Give him,
I didn't
Sean,
say.
right to hand. Just give him some time.
He totally changed the thing.
I know, but
I asked, can you turn it off? And he said,
right to hand. Can you at least just let him say his piece? You got it. Even if he's incorrect, it doesn't matter.
Okay, whatever.
He's got a right. Hold on. Now, I'm going to write it. I can't in a courtroom. The prosecutor gets, you don't get to just tell him no and try to direct him. You have to let him do his thing, whether you agree with it or not. So let him explain himself and don't put pressure on him, because now you're just amping it up for no reason. Let him do.
But I'm just going to tell him he didn't turn it off. So he's just going to talk. He's going to go for 5 minutes. I'm going to go, and I'm going to go, okay, you didn't turn it off.
Right to hand. Let me tell you something. Right now, you're losing. You're losing, dude. I'm telling you, because you're forcing the issue.
You think I'm losing?
So if you don't want to, let me tell you why you're losing, because you won't even let him speak without cutting him off.
Hold on. Let me say one thing, Sean. Slick. Let me ask you this. I asked him, can gravity be turned off? And he goes, well, what we can do, and I'm like, that's not. If you can't turn it off, then you can't say it stopped affecting it. So all he's going to do is just monologue about gravity, blah blah blah, and then I'm just going to ask him, but can you turn it off? Okay, go the 5 minutes.
Listen, dude, what is you doing?
Just let him talk.
Why
just go.
are you
Tell him.
doing
Just let him. Sean, just
dude,
go.
Right to hand. Just right to hand. Would you stop it? Come on, man. What's the problem? Just let me do this and let Sean go ahead and do his thing, and don't worry about what he's going to say. Just address him when he's finished. Go ahead, Sean. Take your time.
Thank you, ISS. All right, thank you, Slick. All right, so for instance, when you ask me, can I turn gravity off? No, you can't turn gravity off, but I can change the variables in which I can see the rates and the effects of that gravity. For instance, on the surface of Earth, I weigh 175. I can go further away from the center of this mass, say a mountain, and I will weigh considerably less. We can go to the ISS and therefore have microgravity, so that we know that the further away you are from a mass, the less effects of that gravity will have on the person. And in the same sense of him asking me if I could turn off gravity, you can't turn off wind, so they still lie under the same proponents.
Okay, so
okay. Now, hold on before you go. Before you go on. I'm the moderator, right to hand. Take it easy. Okay, now, Sean, you made a mistake when you said you can't turn off the wind, because the wind does blow and not blow. So that's the same thing as being able to turn it off and on. So I just want to get that clear.
Can humans control that? Can we control that?
No,
or is that okay?
No, it's a natural thing, but the thing is, it does happen. Sometimes the wind is blowing and sometimes it's not. Okay. So that's the difference. It's not a matter of whether somebody can turn the wind on and off or not. The thing is, even though it does it by itself, sometimes it's blowing, so sometimes it's not. So that's the deal.
Okay, then I can give you an experience. I can give an experience of a situation where gravity is not affecting an observation. So I guess essentially turning it off, right? The vomit comet.
Okay, no. Okay, hold on. Here, Sean. So what you're saying, answer me a couple parts. Does gravity pull things to the ground in your model? To the Earth?
To the mass, yeah.
To the Earth?
To the mass.
Okay, whatever. So is the Earth pulling the plane when it's in free fall? Is the Earth or the mass pulling the plane down to the Earth? The mass.
No, gravity is.
Okay, so gravity's still affecting the vomit comet, right?
The plane? No. It's
actually, everything in it. Are the people inside falling?
No, actually, the plane actually has to be accelerating to do so.
Okay, hold on, Sean. Okay, so you're saying when a vomit comet goes in a descent, gravity is not affecting it. Is that what you're telling them?
You are not experiencing the effects of gravity.
Okay, so is one of the effects of gravity that people fall down?
Yes.
Okay, so are people in the plane not falling down?
No, they're not.
Okay, so the people in... Okay, there you go. So you think that the people inside the plane are not falling to the earth? They're
I can
just
show you.
Okay, so what would happen if the plane didn't pull up?
No, they're not. They're not falling.
Hold on,
no.
Sean.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, so the plane. So are the people? I'm watching this plane, and there's people inside of it. Okay, and I'm on the ground. Now this plane starts to do a nosedive with the people inside of it. You're telling me the people inside are not coming to the ground under the effects of your gravity?
What? I'm confused. You can't see the people in the plane.
You're confused. You're confused. So let me say
Just take it
you're
right to hand. You're amping it. Hold on.
Confused.
I need to step in.
He's confused.
I know. Right to hand. I need to step in. You're starting to amp it up again. Just take it easy and have a conversation. Well, there's no need to get into this rush mode.
No, because what he does is he's
worry
manipulating the conversation.
That doesn't right to hand. Stop it. I'm manipulating the conversation because I'm the one that's running it. So he's not manipulating anything. Let me explain to you what Sean is saying. Sean is saying, no, I can't turn gravity off, but I can neutralize its effects. That's what he's saying.
I'm saying it can't. I'm saying those things are still falling. So you didn't
Sure,
neutralize the effects.
The thing
so
is,
can you get him to address that?
Dude, I'm just trying to tell you that that's what his argument is.
But if he can't Slick, do you not understand if a man can look at a plane that is falling and know there are people in it and go, that those people aren't falling? He is a retard.
Okay, but Steve, there you go with the listen, right to hand, like I said.
He's saying the people on the plane aren't falling.
Right to hand.
How am I supposed to have an adult... Slick, answer me this. How do I have an adult conversation with a man who thinks the people that are falling in a plane aren't falling? He doesn't live in reality.
Right
That's the
Slick,
point.
I can give an explanation for that, Slick.
Right,
I don't need an
Yeah. Right, I'm sorry, right to hand,
if
like I said.
People aren't falling... Bro, look.
Dude, don't mute yourself.
We live in different realities, Slick.
Right to hand. The next time you unmute yourself, you've automatically
Then boot me. I don't give a shit, bro. He thinks
done.
people on a plane aren't falling. Good.
It's over, dude. Forget about it. Forget about you.
You're a shit moderator anyway, bro. This guy can't. The dude thinks that people on a plane aren't falling.
I can give an example of this, and I'll go ahead and do that. So, if you're flying in a plane at 30,000 feet, 10,000, it doesn't matter what feet, but you're flying in a plane, and you have a ball in your hand, and you drop that. If you let go of that ball, the ball will drop to the floor of the plane. Now, if you're in the vomit comment and you have a ball in your hand, and you're experiencing the zero G descent, and you drop that and you let go of that ball will not fall to that floor, which means we are negating the effects of gravity.
The ball falling to the...
What happened? Did we lose connection?
I didn't. I finished. I was done.
Is the ball falling to the earth?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just said it wasn't under the effects of gravity, yet now you're just saying it is.
Yeah, but in the plane...
So you are a retard.
In the plane,
You're a double-talking fucking retard who's going to say it's not under the effects of gravity and then just say it is under the effects of gravity.
Right to hand. I don't know what your problem
hold on. You like a retard said it's not under... and then 2 seconds later you said it is under the effects. So Sean,
at this point,
is the ball under the effects or not?
Sean, it's up to you what you want to do. Is the ball under the effect
or is it not?
What I'll do is I'm going to go ahead,
I'm just going to keep on muting them because I'm not going to go through this.
Is the ball under the effect of gravity or not?
No, what I'm going to do, Slick, because this is
you're wrong.
Point where things get real dicey, and I'm not going to get
is the ball under the effect of gravity or not?
So, guys, I opened up the panel.
Is the ball under the effect of
gravity
or not?
If you guys want to do this with him, that's fine. I've proven my point. I think
just answer. Is the ball falling on the plane under the effects of gravity? Just answer.
Right to hand. He's not answering anything.
Yeah, I'm not addressing you anymore.
Just answer it because that's the whole thing. He's saying it isn't, then he said it is.
No,
it's one or the other, Sean. It can't be both.
Right to hand. It's over. Forget about it, dude. It's done.
You've proven
because he can't answer. This is where
It
it came
doesn't
to. He
matter.
couldn't
It's
answer
over.
a simple
It's
question, and when he did, he
over. Yep.
contradicted himself.
No, he
I
didn't
have him on
contradict
tape.
anything.
He
He didn't
posts this,
do
Sean, where you
anything.
saying it's not under the effects of gravity, it is under the effects of gravity. You're a
Right to
contradicting,
hand.
double talking retard, bro. You can't even
Right
get
to
your own
hand.
story straight. The ball falling from the plane is under the effects of gravity, but it's not under the effects of gravity. Congratulations, Sean. You are a
Right to
complete
hand.
double
It's
talking,
over.
contradicting asshole.
You can say all of that you want, but as the moderator,
He said that.
I
No,
hate.
he said he said this. He said the ball
Listen,
falling on the
right
plane
to
is not
hand.
under the effect of gravity. Then he said it is under the effect of gravity in the span of 2 minutes. In the span of 2
Right, but
minutes, he
like,
said the ball that was falling in the plane isn't under the effect of gravity because it's been
All right, we're done doing that shit. My point was clearly made perfectly, thanks to Right to Hand's explanation. And I want to say this right off the bat. Fucking Erebus, you motherfucker. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Erebus predicted everything that motherfucker would do and told me exactly how to handle it, and it worked perfectly. First of all, Right to Hand gave his explanation for how wind and how we see the effects. There is no difference in me seeing the effects of gravity in the conversation. Period. Building a wall does not turn off the wind. It blocks the wind. It's the same way getting in a vomit comet and doing that negates the effects of gravity. You're blocking the wind is negating the effects of the wind, but you're not turning it off. You cannot turn off wind. I get it starts and stops, but you physically, because remember, we're supposed to be talking about experiments and tests. You cannot turn off the wind. You can negate the wind's effects, but that's thank you, Erebus, because Erebus made it very clear. Sean, stop spouting fucking claims. Shut the fuck up. Let's figure out where he's coming from and then go from there. And he did exactly that. If wind is real, which he stated wind is real, he stated he can't see the wind, he can see the effects of wind. Now, what's really double speak is that part where he is explaining how wind cannot be seen, can only see the effects. And then to state...
Okay, can I...
Yeah, go ahead, jump in. Oh, wait, fuck that. Hang on, stop, fuck him. Slick.
Sure, go ahead.
I appreciate the non-bias moderating you did. I do really appreciate that. Every time you stepped in, I didn't feel you was out of line. I thank you, and it kept me from even thinking of going that direction. So I do appreciate what you did here. Thank you. And I'm going to tell you now, a lot of people that you usually fight with are giving you respect in the chat too. So thank you.
Well, like I said, the main thing for me was to just keep it fair and just to keep it as a conversation. And what I was trying to explain to him is that no matter what you say, whether you're right or wrong, you still have the right to present your case.
Yes.
And what Right to Hand was doing was trying to say that you don't have a right to present your case because he's against it. And that's not how it works. And that's where it fell off. So like I said, it could have kept going if he could have just kept calm, because all he really had to do was challenge what you were saying instead of fighting with you. All he had to say was, okay, well, how do you neutralize it? And is neutralize, just take it to a conversation rather than starting to just let it derail. So that's why once that happens, that's when a judge slams the gavel down and just holds the other person in contempt and then has the bailiff remove them from the courtroom. You lose. That's just all there is to it. If you can't handle yourself, you fall apart like that, you've automatically lost. I mean, that's just how it goes.
Yeah, and anyone can play it back. I'll tell you to a spec. The second he decided to go that route, the second he realized, oh fuck, I just described the mechanics of wind, or not the mechanics, how wind is seen and felt, and he already established through the senses. That's how we establish reality. You can't see wind. He established that. He established all these things that he can see, the effects, blah, 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 blah. When he realized that I was going to turn that wind into the gravity, and you can't see gravity, but you can see the effects, that's when he got all nasty. That's when he started getting all pissed off and calling me names and stuff. And again, I'm going to do this regularly. I don't even care who moderates. As long as, moderating is literally a night and day thing. You're either good or you're not. You know what I mean? So I do want to change it up. I'll fucking, Slick, you can mod almost any debate I'm in. I don't mind at all. But I do want to change it up so people can see this. the reality of it is, first of all, it controls me. If I don't have someone moderating in here, in the back of my brain, it's still my fucking panel. But if I have a moderator here, like Slick said, it's my fucking. I'm running this shit, and I'm gonna respect that. So if I'm gonna do this shit here, I need a moderator. Period. That's just the end of it. And I thought it would be awesome to have people that have these different views moderate, because again, Slick didn't interject his ideas of how things work. He didn't say outright, you're wrong, explain different. No, he moderated. And I think that if you're put in that situation, you can't be one-sided and be good at it. It would be obvious. That's all there is to it. So again, I got nothing but thanks. I'm everyone that sent super chats. I'm going to my page right now so I can get to them and then read them all off, because again, I wasn't even watching that. But hang on one second. What's up, everyone else that just joined us?
Hey, what's going on, Sean? Hey, did I miss the discussion?
You did. I
set a reminder.
It was great for me. I really enjoyed it. I'll be all candid now. So I was worried because I was trying to get him to explain everything he wanted to explain in his way, so I could be able to establish what I can use. And Slip kept going, you guys are kind of going slow. I just needed him to get to that wind. That scared the shit out of me.
I'm going to have to go back later once this is over and watch that.
I will tell you right now, that debate was, I'd say 85% right to hand talking, and me just listening quietly. And I learned. I listened. If you listen, he'll shoot himself. And that's the thing. And there's these two big differences. Like, for instance, when me and Slick have these kind of conversations where, what he thinks and I think, they progress, hit the wall, we end it. When right to hand hits that wall, he gets like he just did what everyone just saw. It's really bad. Okay, so let me read these.
Yeah, I just kind of walked into the end of it. So,
well, he did good for a long while. He wasn't getting bad at all. Then, like I said, the second I correlated how we experience wind, the effects of wind versus the effects of gravity, and he just wigged out.
And then, like I said, when you think about it, just like in a courtroom, you will never see the prosecutor or the defense try to take over the judge. Where do you ever see that? When the judge is telling you stop it, and the prosecutor is telling the judge, no, I'm running this courtroom. See, that don't work. And that's what he tried to do. And that's not. If you have a case, just present your case and don't worry about it. See, all he had to do was be patient, let you state your case, and then come up with a defense to it. Not start calling you a whole bunch of names and saying you're lying and you're go ahead.
The worst part about it for me is that I was keeping myself from monologuing, because again, I'm giving all kudos to Erebus. He coached me through the technique of being able to talk to right to hand, because right to hand does pose a bunch of problems from the start. And that was where when I look back on the 2 times me and right to hand have had this conversation, I realized something that I did. I did this. Gravity, real. Prove it's not. And realization, it leaves the door open for him to say whatever the fuck he wants. And realizing that through talking to Erebus and all that kind of shit, it made me realize my monologues kill me, because I'm trying to ramble through something, and then as the monologue gets to the end, sometimes I forget. I'm not gonna lie. Half the time, sometimes I'm like, what the fuck? Oh yeah. But yeah, I kept it short on purpose. There was no way he had a reason to get like that with my short answers. Hello, Barney.
Hello, Sean.
How are you doing?
Excellent. This was very enjoyable for me.
Really?
Yes. I'm very, very proud of you.
Really? Thank you. Oh, man.
That turned out.
Oh, it gave me goosebumps. Thank you, Barney. No, it was one of those
Nice
things.
trap you set.
It was weird. And it just all started to fall into place, and I saw it, and it just. You see, if you had my camera on around that time, you just saw this big ass grin on my face. Every time, it was just like, keep going.
I was like, at first, I was like, why is he debating creationism? Jesus.
But I wasn't.
No,
I
you just let him.
Yeah.
That part of the argument is completely irrelevant. Therefore, you don't even have to address it. You just let him.
Yeah. At first, I was
He's
gonna
his piece, and you
Brilliant.
move on.
Yeah. At first, I was gonna address it in the sense of the whole senses and reality thing. But then I realized doing that, it becomes the round and round argument. There's nothing. That can't go anywhere. God, having that conversation won't ever lead to anything.
But if he would have stayed with it, you guys could have came to a mutual understanding where you understood each other. Even though you didn't agree, you still could have came to a mutual understanding, and he wouldn't let that happen. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yes.
Well,
that was the thing.
They did that in the beginning.
They
agreed to terms on this and this and this and this and this, and when it came to the disagreement, that's when it was round and round.
But the thing was I didn't. It's weird, and it was real hard to do this. I never said he was wrong.
No?
Nope.
Not once.
No.
All I did was just I established where he was at, and then I correlated my explanation with his explanation.
Yes, and that's the right way to do it. Give everything that you can give, and then show that the final conclusion is yours.
Yeah. That was the funnest one. I thought Travis slang was fun. This was fun. Because I from the start I knew where it would go.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Barney.
When you're sensing wind, what are you touching?
I don't think you're touching anything. I think it's touching you.
It doesn't matter. It works both ways. But you're not touching wind. You're touching air,
which is manipulated by wind. Wait.
No, it's just air moving.
It's
wind
just
is
air moving.
Okay.
And that is an effect that we call wind.
So when do you touch air? Always.
But there is a distinction between just touching air and touching wind.
Touching stale air and moving wind or moving air.
Now, is moving an object?
Nope.
No.
Therefore, there are more things than objects that are real. Is moving real? I think that even Right the Hand would agree that moving is real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I did want to say, I apologize to Erebus. He wanted me to go with this Apple argument, but I couldn't keep remembering the fucking scientific name for Apple, so I gave up. I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot. I was like, change it. He went to win, though, so it was great. Again, that was one of the funnest debates I've ever done, just in the fact that I knew as long as I stayed calm, I'd be good.
But try to understand, but Sean, understand something. Mm-hmm. The argument never really reached a peak. He just really lost by forfeit.
Yes.
So in other words, there is right.
Yeah, I didn't. No. So, I didn't prove to him gravity. I didn't establish. He lost that debate because he can't contain him. He can't control himself. That's exactly what it was.
Yes.
This conversation could have gone on for hours. An adult conversation could have gone on for hours, but he ended it because what my opinion is he realized he effed up in his argument. He agreed too much. Exactly. He said too much. He knew it.
The first debate I ever saw Sean in was a debate in which I saw a flat earther win against the Glober because the Glober lost his shit. Yeah. Literally. It's the same way, forfeited.
Yeah. Right? And I remember that every time too. And it just these random times, it's like, F it, just go for it. But when I can keep myself, like, I knew, because I know how Right the Hand debates and argues, I knew, fucking stay calm. Because again, I wasn't planning on stating this big presentation claim. My game plan was establish what he thinks.
Yeah, but
too, and one of the reasons, I'm sorry, one of the reasons why Sean did better in this is because I was the one that told Sean, I said, listen, dude, you can't moderate your own debate. You were unfair.
That's
And
100%
Sean
true.
had to go inside of himself and say, you know what?
Yeah.
I agree. See, so he was the bigger person right from the start. And then by putting me in there, now he's being, you know what I'm saying, even more fair. So if me sitting back being a judge, the case wasn't decided, but when it comes to who was the bigger man in the argument, Sean, you were by far the more mature of this whole thing. I got to give it to you. I got to give you props on that.
Thank you, sir. And again, it wasn't a win on the discussion. No, I'm not going to say it was. I know exactly what happened, why, and where we were at. Whether or not he broke, that's on him. But yeah, the debate ended the second he couldn't contain himself. Is how I see it. But yeah, again, I think you just saying those comments in the Discord about, hey man, you're the judge and he's a prosecutor and you're not even giving him a shot. And I'm like, dude, no, I'm not. I was, and you were right, 100%.
See, so now nobody can use the excuse that you had the mute button, you had the controls, and you dominated. See, nobody can fault you for that now. See, that's out the window.
And even if it was somebody else moderating, like any Glober, it would have been wrong. This is the perfect setup.
Yeah, because Crash was like, because it's like, you had a little problems getting in. Crash was like, I'll moderate non-biased. I'm like, no. That's a big hefty no. But yeah, it did.
Like the hand's still going to claim victory.
I don't care. That's his problem.
Everybody in every debate is always going to claim victory on both sides.
I
Nobody
know.
ever.
Well,
I've never ever seen anybody on a YouTube debate coming out and saying, "Oh man, I lost."
But I'm gonna have a talk with Right to Hand. We're going to talk about this, and I'm going to explain to him what happened. So we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
We're not done with this yet.
And if you can explain to him, having come back for round 2.
Yes.
Yeah, but don't start.
That would be excellent.
Start where you ended. Go from there.
Yeah. Don't start the senses and all that stuff.
No.
I'll do it again. Yeah.
No, I actually think that it's better that every debate is self-contained, that you don't have to keep track of who said what and what they meant and how was it like from weeks ago or months ago.
Yeah.
No. Start from the top. Present your definitions, present your arguments, present your claims, defend them right from ground up.
But that's also forcing you to progress your argument as well.
But that point when you get enraged and start interrogating instead of debating, instead of having a discussion, when you go, no, you're going to answer my question, when I ask you a question, you're going to answer my question the way I want you to answer my question. Like, nobody has the obligation to do that. If you lose your shit, you've lost the game. That goes for Globers as well.
Right. The trick is all you have to do is reform your question. If you're asking a question and you're not getting what you're looking for, then reform it. That's all you have to do. Just come in from another angle. You just start putting the squeeze on, and then the person doesn't have a choice but give you an answer.
Yeah. Before we get too far into it, hang on, Barney.
Sorry,
I promise. Okay, go ahead. Good. And after that, I'm gonna do the super chats.
And if your opponent is saying something wrong, let them.
Yes. Yes, and that was why I was like, "Oh no, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just trying to understand." I just wanted to clarify what was going on. I'm gonna do these super chats real quick, guys. I do apologize. I know some of these I've read some of them. A lot of them, a few of them were actually like during the debate things. But I'm pretty sure we can get a good idea of the answers for some of them. John Rapp, thank you, my friend. He said, "Good day, Sean G. Guest and an awesome chat, people." John Rapp again said, "Thank you again, my friend." He said, "Right to hand. Why is gravity not real? Science not semantics, or science not semantics?"
Science, not semantics.
Yeah, I see. See? Hannah, you're supposed to be reading these things. Stinger News 1, thank you. He says, gravity can't be turned off. That's a property of gravity that doesn't apply to the other phenomena. What's your point? And then GPS, thank you, says, Slick, you did well. Respect. The next one was from Stinger News 1. It says, Slick is pretty decent when he loses the effect personal and uses his real voice. I'd like to see more of that. So more respect out there to you, Slick. John Rapp again. Right to hand. Why are you always a... What the hell is that word? Plumpton simpleton punk. I don't know why. I don't know. Here, I'll put it in here. You guys can read that shit because I don't even know what the fuck that first word is. There you go. You guys can read that shit. Let me see.
Oh,
The
petulant.
Petulant.
Like
Yeah.
petulant child.
Okay, I see. See, again, Hannah, where the fuck were you? And then John Watson, who I hate, but thank you. He says, well done, Slick, but you can still gargle. I guess I think he hit his head, so don't worry about him. But that's all the super chat. Thank you guys. I do appreciate it. And for the ones that were throwing those out there for the actual moments, I do apologize. Let me see. Get back to the bottom of the list. Okay, we're good. Make sure I get that last one. Okay, wait. So I got more. Damn. Okay, here we go. All right, so thank you, Chris Vick is Mr. Victory. I'm calling you Mr. Victory. I'm not doing all that shit. He says, big respect, Slick. Opinionated assholes. Thank you, my friend. He says, Sean G is a great leader, bringing ops together. I try. And that is it for now. Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. Again, I will throw out the link so you guys can jump in here if you want. And we're just BSing at the moment. After we're all, I wouldn't say calming down. I mean, we're all pretty damn calm.
A bit giddy.
I did see Travis in the chat. I hope everyone was very welcoming him with open arms to the globe. He is a little bitter at me. So, I get the shit talking he was doing about me in there. But again, he's going through a traumatic time right now. He just came back to the globe. It was a very traumatic debate me and him had where he realized he was a glober again. So you guys just be easy on him. It's a rough situation.
Are you saying Travis is struggling to come out of the FE closet?
Oh, no, he's out of
Wait
that.
a minute. I saw that debate. Did he? What are you talking about? Oh, you're trolling him. Okay.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know. So he agrees with all of Gravity. He just literally said he doesn't like the name. And then he described to me the star trails and how they don't make sense. And then I said, well, this is what would happen on a flat earth. This is what we see. And then he kind of was like, yeah. He's a glober. It's rough. He's going through a tough time right now. He just got back. I don't
understand.
For 3 days.
I don't understand why people give in to the gravity thing. They just seem to like throw in the towel and say, okay, it's a thing. I don't know why they do that. It's not necessary. All they have to just stay in your ground.
I think he's posing that to someone else. Anybody else want in? Or just fine.
No idea, but speaking about star trails.
Huh?
Oh, sorry, Carlos.
No, go ahead, buddy.
Fuck, Carlos is here.
I was just going to say, speaking of star trails,
hi Carlos. Don't leave.
On my channel.
You got what on your channel?
A nice star trails video of observations in the northern and southern hemisphere.
It would have been nice if you came with a link instead of having to make me search for it.
I sent it to you in the DMs.
Oh. Well, when you say it like that. Wait, I don't have. Wait, when did you send it?
Today.
Oh yeah, you did. Oh yeah, there it is.
And by the way, Sean, you would have been very proud of Crashes about how unbiased and calm he remained while having a debate on the vegan server.
Yeah, I heard about that. How'd it go?
Interesting. We've got two people that will probably be coming to join us some night on here when we put a few times together so that they can both come in together.
Okay. Did he get to play the game?
No, I wouldn't even go down near the name the trait game. I turned around to them and demanded that they give me the trait that makes the animals the same as on the same level as humans.
But did Crash play?
No, Crash really screwed them over by saying that he had no problem with causing harm to other humans.
Oh shit!
I probably would have said the same thing if it came right down to it.
Oh, I forgot about that aspect of it. Full admittance. So you eat a person? If I had to.
I mean, if it came right down to it, yeah.
Please tell me you recorded it.
I have some of it. Unfortunately, my OBS fucked up, and I'll speak to you sometime during the week to find out why it fucked up, because I've obviously set the settings wrong.
I know worries. Yeah, anytime. Jeez. I can just imagine. I can just imagine them going, "It's time for the gotcha." Would you slaughter people? Well, yeah. Fuck yeah. Jeez.
Well, other like this, Sean, go on to the Discord, that Discord server, and take a look at Crash's new name.
I can't do that right now.
I will get it.
Well, you know how Discord now you can put channels into boxes, and then those boxes can minimize. It's in one of those, and I have like 20 of them.
Right. So.
Did you just say something, Carlos?
No.
Peach, Crash's new name is the Pro-Holocaust Cannibal.
Wait. Fuck. Please tell me you recorded when he said he was up for killing people.
That bit did record, yes.
Thank God. Oh, you got to play that shit sometime. All right, when you get everything up. Let me know when you upload it, please. Because I know those people. And man, it must have had crickets for at least 10 seconds.
Oh, yes. Let's just say they didn't know where the hell to go.
It's awesome. I never remember. Oh. Yeah, that was I was like, hey, Crash. Because I finally uploaded the debate I had over there. I was like, hey, yeah, just kind of skim through it so you can kind of see where they're going to go with things. And mainly so you can see the name the trait game. And he was like, now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, he completely went the opposite direction that I went. I told him, I was like, Crash, they really hate when you bring up, being a hunter, because you can think of the conservation of it, all that kind of stuff. And he was like, yeah, I'll think about using that. But then when I really think about it, it's like, yeah, hunting people is different. And Crash probably went that way.
Oh, he went that way within the first 90 seconds of starting to talk.
How many times did he say bacon?
Only about 3, because he was talking about the contents of his freezer, which was bear, deer, and during the stream, one of his dogs caught a rabbit, which he had to go and dispatch while he was on the server.
Holy shit. Oh, that is so like all the places, all the times. Those people are probably still trying to get to the hospital so they check their hearts.
Barney, did you say that?
Yeah,
I did.
he did say that, and it's forever in YouTube history.
Oh my goodness.
I'm giving Barney the English isn't his first language pass.
Oh.
He meant dissect. Are the words similar?
Fondle and dissect.
Yeah, in your language. I mean, is it just close, right?
In that special "don't go to jail" language. You know, the special not incriminating way.
Yeah.
I don't
in
know.
the NSA, if you're watching, I was totally joking the whole time way.
Somebody started the sequence with "I see dead people." Somebody said "I smell dead people," and I just went with it.
Some things you just don't go with, Barney.
Barney, did you type it? Go. I shouldn't enter.
Yes.
Yeah,
Nah.
I've done that a few times. You should have proofread that. Nah. Stop thinking out loud usually comes to thought. I'm just happy Right to Hand didn't come fucking trolling into my shit again. That was fucking crazy. Last time he like tried to get in like 8 times. But whatever they went up to. Huh?
SmackDown good.
No, that was terrible. Like, it's even like it's one thing when I go back at it with him. We sound like fucking little 2-year-olds, but then I realized how bad it was when I just sat here and listened to it. It's like, wow, all these vulgar names coming out of nowhere. I didn't even say it was wrong once. I'm so amazed.
Yeah, it's funny to watch him go from like 0 to 60 in milliseconds. It'll be like, well, that escalated quickly.
That's how I felt
just killed
about
a
it.
guy. We had a grenade.
Like Slick said something, and I was still in shock. I was like, "Wait, huh? What's going on here?" I'm not gonna lie to you, people. There was one moment I went straight to go fucking kick him out of here, and I went, "Whoa, stop! What are you doing?"
That's one of the reasons why I pay so much attention to the courtroom, because that's how life is. And you'll always hear me say life is like a courtroom, because everything you do, you are either the judge or the prosecutor or the defense. I don't care what you come across, you're in one of those 3 positions. So that's why I handle it that way, because that's the best way that you can come to an understanding, is the way they do it in a courtroom.
Yeah, that was fun. I liked it. YouTube was doing. OBS upgraded. Now they're doing all these weird things. Damn it. There you go. Citizen 9, you missed all the fun. But it will be worth going back and listening to.
I'd like to see it happen. I'd like to see it happen again. I would like to see that one more time.
Talk to him and let me know what happens, and I'll do it again.
Spoiler alert! Right the hand, the whole bottle.
A whole bottle?
Yes, right the hand, the whole bottle.
I think only Barney understands that.
Yeah, and
Is that code for
several
something?
betards from 4chan in 2008.
That scares me.
You know, listen, let me tell you something about Right to Hand. I really like listening to Right to Hand because he puts up a very good argument. I mean, every time I hear him, you know, I look forward to hearing him talk because I like where he's coming from. The only thing that he has to do is just take it easy, just calm down. If he does that, he'll get a lot farther. I think he's very interesting and very knowledgeable, actually.
Yeah.
the crazy part was like I said, when the whole wind and then gravity blah 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 came about, and that was a leg up for me, but in no means did it take him out of the conversation. I was surprised it happened that way, because last time, like you said, it's like when we talked, it was like we both were talking past each other, and it was like just complete night and day from the last time, and it was just like, okay, we're progressing, and then all of a sudden it just started. I was like, wait, I'm not doing it. That didn't start it. It wasn't even saying he was wrong about it, which was another surprising thing. It's just he didn't like his argument not going like his argument was supposed to go. Is how I saw it.
You know what's hard for people? This is what's hard for people when they have a conversation. They're too busy trying to impose their will on the other person. See, it's not the idea about changing a person's mind. If you go into something trying to change a person's mind, you're going to lose every time. All you want to do is just state your case and let it be. You don't want to have to, that's why when you see debates, that's what they're doing. They're not trying to impose their will on each other. They're just stating their case. Let the jury.
All right, Slick, can I ask you a question then?
Well, that's true. Real debates are like that. That's very true.
Yeah. Yes, Truth. What's that?
All right, so you said that you enjoy listening to Right the Hand.
Yes.
Yeah. So does it have any effect that he has actually admitted to just being a Poe and only in the flat Earth argument for the argument?
No.
Well, no, first off, because he didn't. I don't know anything about him to be a Poe. Where are you getting it from?
His own messages that he admitted on numerous Discord servers.
Right, but what you're doing is you're making a claim that you can't. I mean, can you back this up? You got him on tape? You got any evidence, or is this just hearsay?
There's screenshots on numerous servers. I will DM them to you tomorrow.
Sure, no problem. Now, when he did that, was he joking? Was he being sarcastic? Was he being serious? Do you know the difference? Can you tell?
He was being serious.
How do you know?
Because he openly admitted. He says, I know we live on a globe. I was only doing this as a joke. And that's
right, but sure, but how do you know he wasn't just being sarcastic?
Because he admitted it in a voice chat as well that I just didn't happen to be part of.
Right, but you don't have any evidence though that he wasn't just talking. In other words, you what you're doing is that you're saying you're reading his mind.
No, I was reading his words that he posted on a server. Not
right,
just
but
once,
you don't know,
but multiple times.
It doesn't matter. If it did it 50 times, how do you know he wasn't being sarcastic 50 times?
Well, how do you know he was though? That's why I'm asking.
I'm just.
That's why I'm only asking you the question, Slicker. I'm not.
Right. The point that I'm trying to make is that's just hearsay. It just doesn't mean anything. It's just hearsay. In a court of law, that would get thrown out. In other words, if you brought that in a court of law, the judge would throw it out.
So a judge would throw out text messages because they wouldn't know if they were sarcastic or not?
Well, the thing is, if you can't provide intent, in other words, you got to establish motive. So how, you can't say if the man wasn't joking or not. You have no way of proving that.
I'm pretty sure they used those text messages in that Tiger Exotic Joe guy to put him in jail, didn't they?
Well, like I said, but they probably was able to establish intent. And this one text message that he says that I'm a Glober, you don't know what he was joking. Like I could say that right now. Does that mean I'm a Glober because I said that? No, it doesn't mean anything. You have to prove my intent.
I guess. I mean, using the principle of charity, like if I have to extend the principle of charity to you in a conversation, then I take the words that you say at face value. Now, can I read tone? Sure. Is it always accurate? No. There are a lot of times where people say that something I say comes off sounding like condescending, and I'm like, well, that wasn't my intention at all. Sorry about that.
Right. But you're mixing, you're mixing two. you're mixing two different scenarios. You're talking something that happened on Discord to something, a serious business transaction or something like that. They're not on the same level. It's
fair. I'll do that. With being said, so all that being said, we cannot just have his words for it. We just have to take his word for it. We have to take his word for it. You know, things in here, right? So with that being
Dr.
said,
Phil,
would affect.
Listen, Dr. Phil did the same thing. He said that Anthony Riley and Nathan Oakley admitted to being that they were just making content, that they weren't really serious about their business. Just here.
Right. Would it affect would it affect their arguments to you?
What do you mean affect their arguments?
Would it in any way have any impact on the argument they've made? If you found out, just hypothetically, if you did, if it was revealed to you
that what?
That they're faking it
for
monetary gain. Would that affect you?
That's not
that
my
affect
business.
their argument?
No, because the thing I just don't understand what your point is. In other words, if they just came out and seriously admitted, listen, I'm really a Glober. I'm only doing this for the money. So what are you asking me?
Would, in your opinion, would it affect their arguments that they've made up to this point about the flat Earth?
Dude, it's kind of, the question doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because they just, listen, if they made all of these claims that they were, listen,
somebody phrase it better for me who understands it, because
Dude,
I thought I was
trying
making
to
sense.
explain. I know, and I'm explaining to you. If somebody was saying that they were a flat earther for years and they were saying that yes, I'm really a flat earther, and then all of a sudden that they came out and said, you know what, I was just kidding. I'm not really a flat earther. I'm really a Glober. Well, so that would be that. I don't understand what you're looking for.
So I'm just asking, would it affect the arguments that you've heard them make?
No, because the argument,
you agreed with their arguments. Say you agreed with their evidences, and then you found out later on that they were making it all up. Would that affect their arguments in your estimation?
No, the argument doesn't change. It's always about the argument. It's never about the person, ever.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Cool.
Oh yeah. That's why a lot of times you'll hear people throw names around. Well, so-and-so said. So it doesn't matter. What is the argument? Like you'll hear people talk about, well, I got a PhD. Who gives a damn? What is your argument?
Yeah, I mean, I can get behind that. If the argument's good enough, it should stand on its own legs.
Yeah, like I said, that's what I listen for. That's why I've learned a lot from Right to Hand. When I listen to Right to Hand, I understand where he's coming from. He's coming from a purely observational point of view. And what he is saying is that I see what I see, and I'm not going to draw any conclusions from what I see. Now, if there's something proven to be done, that's one thing. But me just looking at it and just deciding that this is happening. See, that's why he's fighting gravity. His thing about gravity is this: I don't see no gravity. I saw the apple fall. Okay, the apple fell. So just because you see the apple fall, what he's saying is that you can't just decide why the apple fell. You have to go through scientific tests to show cause. You can't just declare a cause. And that's his argument. And that's what science is about.
Do you think that's a stronger argument than Sean's about, the wind, using the wind as an analogy?
Right.
No, I didn't get to hear it all, but I heard him rephrase it.
Sure. No, the wind analogy wouldn't work only because, like I said, see, the wind is something that is there sometimes so you can see its effects, and then it's not there. So you can't do that with gravity because gravity is always there. The only thing that you could do with gravity, if it was a thing, is try to neutralize it. But you have to admit that that's what you're doing. You're just having a deduction. You're not really showing proven cause and effect. You're deducing cause and effect, and that's a different story because you have to make sure that you have deduced all the other options. See what I'm saying? And that's where Right to Hand really could have led that and really took it home if he would have stuck with that, because all you have to ask is, have you excluded any other variables of what could have caused that item to fall. And that's what you can't do in a deduction. The heck is quiet? What the heck is going on? It's never this quiet. Did I
Sorry,
turn
I
up
was
the heat?
reading side chat. My bad.
Yeah, I'm arguing with somebody in the side chat, but I want to address what you were saying. It's just somebody's trying to tie my brain into pretzel.
Sean left me in control again. Jeez, wish you'd tell me.
Yeah, and I didn't want to just like take over the conversation. I was just curious about what your thoughts on, and I appreciate the honest answer on that, Slick. And I am giving you respect. If Sean is saying that you were, that good as moderator, props, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, see, I take it like this. If you're going to put me in a judge position, then I'm going to be the judge. I'm not going to be the judge and then act like the prosecutor or defense, because now that tarnishes my thing. See, so if I'm going to be judge, I got to be a fair judge, or just no point in doing it. Can't be a biased
and honestly,
judge.
And like, I know this, you might think I'm throwing shade with this, but I'm not. So maybe this will help you distinguish my sarcastic voice from my regular voice. But a person that doesn't have, firmly held beliefs should be a good moderator, because you shouldn't have like that knee-jerk bias, like to defend your position, because you don't really claim.
Right. Right, because then, right, in that position, when I'm sitting there in the judge's seat, I don't have a position. Only the prosecutor and the defense has a position. I'm just there to make sure that both of them are treated fairly. That's it. Right.
Hey guys, I hate to interrupt, and it's kind of weird doing this thing. How I was like being so mature about how I debated and stuff, but Right to Hand's tombstone is ready. So.
Oh, that's really why I came.
Yeah. So here we go.
Right to Ham.
There you go. Everyone gets it. He got it, and he earned it. So there it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Slick, you said that we can only deduce things. Now, I would counter that. Go ahead.
Well, no, I didn't actually say that. I said when it comes to gravity, by not being able to turn it off and on, it's more of a deduction-based understanding.
Yes.
That's okay.
And I agree with that. The thing is that deductions are necessarily truth-preserving. Those are statements whose truth is conserved from the premises.
Sure, I understand it, but at the same time, you have to make sure that there are no other deductions that can be reached, because if there are other possibilities, well, how do you find out if the other possibility isn't really the thing? See?
Yes, and that is done by maintaining appropriate scope of what you're saying. So you cannot say that things are falling because the force of gravity is imparted by angels standing on the rock and pushing it down by flapping their wings, right? You cannot give that level of a cause. But what you can say is, from the definition of a force, that force is that which gives a mass its acceleration, and the fact that it's accelerating, that there is a force. And that specific force we name gravity. There is no statement in Newtonian physics beyond that. There is literally nothing more being said.
Right. But the only thing is there, now, just for clarity, aren't you looking at an effect? Like when you say that acceleration, aren't you observing an effect?
Aren't I observing an effect? Yes, everything
Yes.
I observe is some sort of an effect.
Sure. Okay. But force is not an effect. Right?
It is.
Well, then what about the cause? See, I thought it was the cause that's what makes an effect happen. You understand what I'm saying?
But the cause is an effect in itself. Everything's an effect. You don't sense anything except effects. You don't see anything except effects, and there are no causes that we know of that you can observe that aren't effects in themselves.
Right. But this is my point, Barney. When you say, like, you see an apple fall and it accelerates, okay, that is an observation. But when you bring in force, aren't you kind of creating something out of thin air?
No, it is. You are just stating the correlation between the mass of the apple, its inertia, its resistance to changing of motion, and its acceleration, its obvious changing of motion. And that relationship is persistent. It is always the same. The ratio, that the value of that size is always the ratio of the mass and the acceleration. Therefore, the force is just a literal consequence, a relationship between the mass and the acceleration. That's all it means. It means nothing more than that.
I understand everything that you said until you brought the word force in, because the reason that I'm saying is that because in order to bring a force in, now you're bringing in cause, because now you're saying the cause of that acceleration is a force. Right? That's what I'm
No, I'm not. I don't know where that force came from. I don't. In Newtonian physics, Newtonian laws of gravity literally do not provide any cause for gravitation. All they say is, from motion, there is a force because there is an acceleration of a mass. And since that acceleration is equal for every object regardless of its mass, it has to be proportional to the mass.
Right, but that's just a decision that somebody's making.
No. That's a direct, necessary, logical consequence. You cannot have it any other way, and have it be in the same universe, right?
Okay.
If all
getting
things,
confused.
Go ahead.
This is where I'm getting confused. What I'm getting confused is that you see an observation. Okay, you see something happening. Now, once you start saying why that happened, now you're talking about a cause, because when you say a force, when you say that it happened because of a force, where you're saying that something caused that, it's the force that is involved. The force has to play a role in something. What is the force doing in this situation?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
Well,
I did not. Wait. I did not say. I did not say that the force has any ontological independent existence. That it is a thing. That it can be a cause. Right. I have just said that there is a relationship between the mass and the acceleration, and that relationship is what I will cause a force in every instance. That is the definition of the word force. Right.
Right. But so see, like I said, I'm sorry.
Here's an example. I could take a spring, let's say, and use it to push a ball. And every time I use it to push a ball, the ball could be accelerating at a different rate. In that case, there would be no correlation between its mass and its acceleration and that thing that was applied to make it move, right? The force. The force would then not be a correlation between the acceleration and the mass. In our universe, what we observe, what is a law, what Newton has noticed and measured and has stood up since then, is that force by definition is the relationship between the mass and its acceleration.
Right, so he just decided.
He didn't decide it. I don't know how else to put it into English. It's not just a decision, because it could have been otherwise, and by observation in reality it isn't otherwise. It is always so that an equal force on an equal mass produces equal acceleration. When you half the mass, you double the acceleration. When you double the force, you double the acceleration, right?
Sure. But here's the thing, Barney. In order to make that statement that you just made, something had to be done in order to understand that. In other words, what experiment was done to come to that conclusion?
Observations. Just observations of how things accelerate, how they decelerate, how they stop, how they things. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to use RT, right to hand's argument. Okay, so right to hand is saying this, because if it's that simple, right to hand is saying, okay, look, I see something, I see it accelerate exactly like you explained it, and he says, okay, God did that. That's God.
Okay.
All right.
That's fine. That's fine.
So, sure.
God has applied the force of gravity to accelerate those things always in a unique manner. That action of God, that cause of that thing, still applies a uniquely identifiable and consistently measurable effect that we can observe and measure. I do not, at Newton's level, I neither know nor care what it is. Newton himself said that it could be angels flapping their wings and pushing things around.
Right. But what does Barney, see, as listening to you, this is the question that's popping into my mind. What does mass attraction have to do with acceleration?
What does mass attraction have to do with it? So, if the force is proportional to the mass and inversely proportional to the mass and proportional to the acceleration, and we know, like, literally, just think it through. Pushing a heavier object, making a heavier object move is harder. It takes more force to accelerate it. You need to apply a bigger force to accelerate it at the same rate. When we measure things falling down, when we measure their acceleration, all of the objects, from the biggest to the smallest to the heaviest, they all accelerate at the same rate. So whatever that force is, it must be proportional to the mass, right? Because heavier things will have a bigger force applied to them to accelerate at the same rate. Lighter objects will have a smaller force applied to them to accelerate at the same rate. So whatever that force is, whatever its source is, it is proportional to the mass of the object.
But Barney, what if the object itself is creating a force?
I don't know what that means.
In other words,
okay.
In other words, like the object is accelerating because it's creating a force.
Okay.
Right. So in other words, that would rule out any attraction because the acceleration is coming from the object itself. So there's no mass attracting mass. The object itself is causing the acceleration. So that would cancel out mass attracting mass.
Yes. Okay, let's say that's perfectly fair and true, or possible, or whatever. However, the force that the object is exerting itself is proportional to its mass. Why? Because the acceleration of all falling bodies is equal, right? It doesn't matter what the source of the force is. It doesn't matter who does it, why, what's the cause, where did the force come from. All of those things are irrelevant in the statement that the force of gravity is proportional to the mass of the object. Whatever the cause is, that statement is true. That's what makes it a law.
Right. But do you understand my point when I'm saying that if the object itself is supplying a force, well, then the mass under it has nothing to do with it, because whether the mass under it was there or not, it would still apply that force, regardless of what's under it. That's the point that I'm making.
So there are two ways to understand that statement. One is it applies a force when it is near another object with mass, and it applies it in such a way, which is what we observe, right? The other way to understand it would be objects just move by themselves, and they can have any acceleration anywhere at any time because they apply a force on themselves, which is not something that we observe. We observe that objects on Earth are always accelerated at that acceleration, regardless of their mass, towards the Earth in one preferred direction.
Right, but what it seems like is that what you're saying is that just because there's this acceleration that's always the same, it's like somebody saying, well, since that's the case, we have decided that it's mass pulling it because of the same rate.
No,
right?
that Principia Mathematica does not say that mass is attracting mass, that mass does something to the other mass. It says, the law of gravity literally says, there is a force, and that force is proportional to the masses of the object and inversely proportional to the square of the distance. And those are the things that we observe. It literally, I swear to you, there is nothing in Newton's work that says why that force is there. What is the cause of that force? It is just the statement of the mathematical relationship between the mass and the distance and the force.
Yeah,
And
right.
that force is then labeled. It is given a name. That force, which is proportional to the mass and inversely proportional to the square of the distance, is what we call gravity.
I understand. And like I said, the thing that I'm having an issue with, and like right to hand's probably the same way, the way that we see it, what we see, somebody is creating a force out of thin air. That's what we are understanding, because like I said, we see the thing fall. We understand the rate and all of that. But when somebody says that there's a force involved, now somebody's bringing something in that we're not observing. See, we can observe and see what we see without the need of requiring a force to make it happen, because we know that it takes energy to get something up. Things don't just hang out in limbo somewhere and then all of a sudden fall from nowhere. Usually it takes something to get something up to somewhere before it can fall. So when people start describing things as just falling, well, in our eyes, they're missing half of the action. And that's where the disconnect is.
So the disconnect from what I understand is the assumption that gravity is its own object, that it is its own thing, that it is the cause, right? And
Right.
it's not. It is literally the force. The force is not the cause. The force is a means of communicating the cause. The fact that we don't know what the cause is does not prevent us to see the effect, and therefore by necessity see that it is that there is a force present from some unknown source. Now, the only thing where people seem to have a huge problem is the identification of that force. The fact that we have chosen to label that force with its own name because it is significant and prevalent enough, that we're not
Sure.
talking about the 60 million other forces or causes of forces. We're talking about this one specific measured and observed effect through Newtonian
Right.
laws.
But see, but like I said, on our side, we don't see a force. See that, and that, like I said, that's just a difference in understanding. Whether a force is there or not is another story. But I'm just saying, like from my perspective, I don't see a force at all, because all I see, all I see from my end is that it took energy to get whatever item it was to be up at any distance. So all I'm saying is you put that energy into it, and then when you take that energy away, it can't sustain itself anymore, because the only thing that was holding it up was the energy that you gave it in the first place. Remove that energy and it falls back. Now, see, I can describe that action, and I don't have any other force except for the force that was put into it. So that's the disconnect from our end, that why we can't relate to gravity the way you guys explained.
Yes, but expending energy creates forces. Doing work creates forces, applies forces to things. If you expend energy to do something and create tension and create elasticity, the effect of that thing returning to its previous position will be an acceleration of mass and therefore a force. That's literally what a force is. There is nothing else that a force is. Every force that you can imagine falls under that description.
Sure. But like I said, I think the only thing is that we have a difference is that you see the force being applied when it's coming down. We see the force being applied on the way up. You understand what I'm saying?
No. Yeah, I'm with you there entirely. There is no force on the way down when you look at it from Einsteinian physics, from general relativity. There is only force applied to it on the way up, and there is force applied to it when it's standing still on the ground. Right? You don't feel anything pushing you down. When you fall in free fall, you feel weightless. It is only when you get pressed against the ground that your flabby parts start sagging, and that you feel the weight, that you feel as though you're being accelerated upwards. It is that is the equivalence principle in Einsteinian physics.
But see now, look, no, but from our end, what I'm feeling is that I'm just an object at rest. See, I don't see myself as a force at rest, because and I know I've heard this before, but you've heard it: an object at rest will stay at rest unless a force acts upon it. Well, somebody came along and said, yes, of course, that's the layman's definition. But here's the problem: they should have never put that layman's definition out there, because what you did when you did that, I listened to that and I understood it. See, so now if somebody put bad information out there and I adopted it and understand it, well, that's not my fault that they shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
because I understand that an item at rest will stay at rest unless a force acts upon it. So if an item is at rest, that means that there's no force acting on it. That's what they're teaching.
Yes.
All right.
So
that's
correct in so far as no net force is no force. If all the forces acting on a body cancel each other out, and there is no net force, no sum force, no aggregate force, then it will stay the same.
Exactly.
Right? It will stay in place. Yes.
And see, so here's the thing, Barney. So from my end, if there's no difference between net force and no force, then how do I know which one it is? See, because they both have the same result. A net force of 0 and no force at all both equal 0. So how can I tell which one is there? And see, and that's my argument, and I'm sure Right to Hand and people like that are saying the same thing.
So that would be correct if all objects were perfectly rigid. But since they're not, since there is some elasticity, there is some movement in them, you can tell apart an object which is just being balanced from an object that is being just free from all forces. And that's exactly what I was talking about. When you're standing on the earth, when you're sitting on a chair, you're not just free floating in that position. You can feel the pressure on your buttocks from the chair, on your feet on the ground, right? You can feel the compression in your skin. You can feel your belly sagging and your hair, if you have long hair, flowing down, right?
Right.
So you can tell that all of those things are basically accelerometers. All of those things are telling you that there is a force with a preferred direction acting on you, which is getting counteracted at the point of contact, on the soles of your feet, on the buttocks of your ass, right?
Right. And I understand what you're saying, but like I said, I don't see it that way. I don't see it me as a force. All I see is myself at rest, because everything in physicality has to have a place in that physicality. So all I'm doing is being in my place. So yes, if there's something that's weak under me, it's going to compress like a chair cushion because I have more substance than that chair cushion can handle. So I don't feel that I'm applying a force to it. It's just that the chair cushion just doesn't have enough support in it to support my substance. And I'm just giving you my point of view of why I don't see it as a force.
So you can then compare that to like turn the whole thing 90 degrees. Take the chair, turn it 90 degrees, set yourself in a sitting position as though you were sitting on it, and just don't press against it. And there will be a significant difference between you just resting in the same relationship to the chair without pressing on it. Even though you are still heavier, you will not compress, right? So you can then see that if you push the chair, if you push it against the wall and push yourself against it, that you will compress it, and that thing will have an equivalence with that identified effect of gravity, with that, right? The scale of those things, how much you press against the chair, is directly proportional to how much it compresses, which is directly proportional to how much push you have to, how hard you have to push against the chair sideways to get it to compress to the same thing. And that's how we can measure the force.
And the thing is, I understand exactly what you're saying. See, it's just that I'm not coming at it from the idea of a force, because even when I'm sideways, see, Barney, you can do a thought experiment. Imagine this. Imagine if everything was flipped. And in other words, imagine that it took energy to stand still, but it took no energy to move. Now, imagine a world like that. That would be bizarre. I mean, so the reason that it's the other way around, because that's the only thing that could make sense. In other words, it's easier to live in a reality where it takes energy to move something, rather than living in a reality where it takes energy to keep the thing still.
I know, but energy is just another concept like force. It is just a relationship that we observe in reality between work and
work.
Math and work, right? How much the mass of the object and the distance that the object travels correlate to each other, and how can that be converted into like what things are equivalent to it? It is just like force. It is just a number that identifies a relationship between those true objects that have existence in themselves, those actually existing objects.
All right. And like I said, what all is coming down to it's just like the net force thing. You can see it one of two ways. You can either see that as two forces that are equal or no force at all. So you can look at it either way you want, because it's the result that matters. And the only thing that I'm saying, what you're describing as net force, I'm describing as no force at all. And there's no way that we can tell the difference, because we have a result of zero. So there's no way to possibly tell which one is causing the zero. Is it a net force or is it no force? How do you tell? And that's where, right?
But I have given you exactly the methods by which you can tell whether it's a net force or a zero force. Right?
But in my explanation,
accelerometers on things that aren't currently being affected by the force. So your feet are being affected by electromagnetic repulsion from the ground. Your feet are being pushed and pressed against the ground, but your hair isn't, so it's sagging down. Your belly isn't, so it's sagging down, right? And it's sagging down. It is sagging in one particular. It is getting distorted in one particular direction. So you can tell that you are under effect of a force.
But in physics, Barney, the only thing that I'm saying is that in a physical reality, things have to be somewhere. See, so I have to do that in order to have my place. If I didn't have that characteristic, I wouldn't have a place. I would just be floating anywhere. Right, and that's
Yes,
the thing. So
agreed.
it's just a characteristic of existence is why these things are happening with me in a chair, because I need to be able to be in a place. So in other words, you have to have a reason to be able to keep something still. So that's why
So
it takes energy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm not refuting your explanation. I'm not
Okay.
saying that it is not a description of what's going on. Yes,
Right.
there is a point of equilibrium such that all things that are less dense than you are above you, and all things that are more dense than you are below you. And you will find that position even in an environment which is not perfectly graduated, so that you will stand on top of the surface of the earth, or you will submerge yourself into water which is more dense than you, such that the ratio of the density from you to water and from you to air is directly proportional to how much you're bobbing above the surface of the water. Like that's literally Archimedes' law. And that relationship is factually true.
All right. And see, the thing is, Barney, everything that you're explaining, I understand perfectly. Like the concept of gravity, I get it. I know exactly what you're talking about when you're talking about the net forces. The only thing that I'm trying to say, if there's another way to explain it, now all of a sudden, I can't just hone in and say, okay, this is the way, because there is another way to explain it. And that's the only thing that I'm saying. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I have another way of explaining the exact same thing.
Yes.
And that's it.
Now,
and that's why we get to a point. Go ahead.
The issue with that is why that explanation is of a lesser quality than the explanation that I'm trying to give here, is because that explanation is not quantifiable, or rather the only way it becomes quantifiable is through my explanation and back. Right? Quantifiable meaning saying what are the sizes of those effects. That explanation that you give, that I agree is factual, is the explanation that the effect is there, but it says nothing and absolutely nothing about how large the effect is. How does it relate to other effects? How are those things in mutual consistent relationship in nature as observed in those factual objects, right? Where my explanation does exactly the same thing that yours does, except it does it in a quantifiable way, where I can say, oh, there is this much of A and this much of B. A is measurable and B is measurable, and there is a relationship between them which is observably always the same. There is this ratio, and that ratio is given by the formula F equals MA, and then by the formula F equals GMM over R squared, right? That's the beauty of mathematics, that you can then not only say it is there, you can say how much of it is there.
Okay. Now, Barney, I know how our conversations can get, and I know how far they can go. So what I'm going to do at this point is just go ahead, and you know how we stand. So for the sake of the panel.
Yep, sure. If somebody else wants to talk about something else.
Right. Because you know how we can go back and forth with this. Because like I said, see, I have a different standpoint of this. I'm starting at zero. See, what I'm doing, where you have a net force, I have zero force, and everything starts from that zero force. So I might go from zero to put a level of energy of 10 in it, and then go back to zero. See, so where I'm still doing the same thing that you're doing it, but I'm doing it in a different way. My math is just a little different than yours, but the result is the same. Right.
Yes, and you can present infinitely many.
I should try to write an equation.
Yes, you should.
You know what I'm gonna do? Yes. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
And there are many different ways in which those equations can be written. The only thing which is required of them is that they uniquely point to the same reality. If they point to a different reality,
it won't work. It would be. In other words, it's false. In other words, it's no good.
No,
If I can't get the equation to work, it's just
it's
no
not
good.
necessarily false. It is an indication that one of ours is false.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In other words, if I can't come up with an equation for what I'm saying, like in other words, no matter how I write it out, if I can't get the equation to work and you have an equation that does work, well, then yours would definitely be more close to reality than what I'm talking about. Right.
Yeah. And there are different approaches to how to describe it, how to explain it. Newtonian is just one. There are mathematical approaches that don't use forces or masses at all, such as Lagrangian mechanics, which is a mechanics of classical physics, which is completely identical to Newton in describing reality, except it doesn't use mass, it doesn't use acceleration, it doesn't use forces, it uses momentum and action.
Okay.
And it doesn't describe what will happen in the next moment. It describes what will happen in the intervening moments. Like if you have a start and an end, what path will something take in between?
Okay. I got you.
What you're trying to describe with energy, there is a mechanics which does that, and that's called the Hamiltonian mechanics, which is again completely equivalent in explanatory power to Newtonian and Lagrangian, and doesn't use any of those terms. It uses the energy potential.
Okay, I got you. Now I understand where you're coming from.
Right. But the relationships that are described in there are holding true in reality. They describe reality as we see it. And those relationships have names.
I understand. Man, I would really love to just keep this. Man, I love these conversations with you, dude. I'm telling you. Dude, the mental, oh man, I just love it, man. I can't explain it.
Thank you.
I wish we could tie this damn panel up for 12 hours.
I can't. It's almost 4 a.m. here.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, I'm cutting out. I mean, I'm still here, but guys, anybody else, y'all want something to talk about something, man, go ahead, though, because like I said, I can do this for
if you guys wanted to keep going, go right ahead. No, but yeah, no. Good conversation. Damn, Slick, you proving everybody wrong today.
Sean, you underestimate my ability to make the vegans quiet, because it was minutes before the
I heard about this, but I want you to explain to everyone how you shut up a server of vegans.
So the first thing they tried to say was they tried to run the morality game on me. Is there a moral distinction between hurting an animal and a person? And my first response was, you assume I have an issue with harming another human being. And they had nothing. Nothing at all.
You know,
I didn't hesitate.
That's interesting. Hold on a second. That's interesting because I was a vegan for 15 years. So I might be able to go a little round with you at some point.
Mm-hmm. If you guys would like to take the floor, Crash, he's kind of challenging you.
I'm in the middle of eating my dinner at the moment. I just jumped on the panel because I got caught up.
Okay, maybe for future time.
Possibly. Like I said, they and them was setting some stuff up. We had a good conversation going after somebody was finally not scared to talk to me. And then somebody else jumped in and tried to run that NTT game across this, and that didn't work.
So you did experience part of it.
Being a vegan was probably one of the coolest things that I've ever experienced.
Really? How
so?
Man,
awesome. It's just an awesome life all the way around.
Hey, Travis, you don't have to hide in the chat. You could say that in here.
Who's scared?
Do you know that?
Funny how when Sean gets buried, he makes a tombstone for the winner.
Sean, did you know that when you're a vegan, you don't really have to bathe and you'll never smell?
No, I don't know that.
Yeah, you can work out, you can sweat, you can go to the gym and not bathe for 3 weeks, and you'll smell fresh as a rose.
But
that's what vegan will do for you.
But is that you think you smell like a rose, or someone else is like, damn?
No, you don't. You smell like a rose. And this is, see, the reason why people do stink is because the meat that you eat is rotting through your skin. That's what you're smelling when you see somebody like they smell real bad after they've been in the gym and all that. That's the meat in them.
But wouldn't that be more the processed food though?
Well, no, the meat period. That's what meat does. That's how meat processes itself through your body. It's rotten. And that's what you smell.
But if you eat asparagus, your piss smells like asparagus.
Well, I don't know about all that, but what I'm saying is that what you smell on a person. Sure, but what I'm saying is that what you smell on a person when they're funky, that's the meat coming through their skin.
Pretty sure it's the diesel that's buried in my hand.
I mean, I could dig up some information. The thing is, I've done the experiments. This is not something I'm just rattling up. See, I was a vegan for 15 years, so I did these tests because I wanted to find out. I said, I wonder how long, if I go for, not taking a bath for a couple of weeks, I want to see what happens. And I did it. Didn't smell anything. You know what else it doesn't smell? Your gas. Your gas smells just like air. Like if you pass gas, seriously, if you pass gas in a room, nobody would know it because there would be nothing to smell. The gas that you pass, that's from the meat. That's the meat that causes that smell.
Have you never
bacteria breaking down substances in your intestines? Yes.
Like I said, I lived this life, so I know what I'm talking about. Now it's not something I can.
There's vegetables that cause just as much gas.
Yeah, right. But the gas doesn't have any odor. If you're a vegan, hold on. I'm talking about a vegan. A vegan's gas has no odor.
Wait.
Oh, brother.
Wait.
I'm lived the life, dude. I've did this for 15 years.
I gotta ask you this though, Slick. And I hate to do this.
Science doesn't back you up.
But that means with Slick's experience, you have smelled other vegan farts.
No, I smelled my own.
But to verify that vegan farts, maybe you're special, Slick.
Well, here's the thing. Well, no, it's not that. It's just, Sean, I wasn't really around many vegans. I mean, I was a vegan, but that doesn't mean I was hung with vegans. You know what
I'm just messing with you.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
My whole stance for my debate was the ethical and moral sides of it. I could care less about the health sides of it.
And I'm calling bullshit to what Slick say, that farts don't smell, that he doesn't smell. I mean, it's a just so story. If you want to roll like that, it's okay, but I don't believe shit unless you provide citation for it.
The other part that they and them, did you get the part where I know you were on there when I had to get bunny rabbit from my puppies, but did you record the part where I asked them if they wanted fucking pictures? They tried to say I was running away from the debate.
I don't know. For some reason, my computer only recorded 29 minutes of it, so I'm not sure exactly what's in it.
Oh, Sean, everything Sean wanted to hear is in there.
Well, put it this way, I've done it before, so I know, like, I can tell where it was going. Like, you just saying that you don't have a problem harming people, I know how much of a wrench that threw in their whole argument.
It threw a huge wrench in their argument.
Because like, if people don't know this server or how debates work there, their arguments are contingent on the fact that you distinguish that you will not eat or hurt humans, but you would animals. You take one of those out, they're screwed. I think if you took out, I don't eat animals, I just don't eat vegetables. I only eat McDonald's.
When it comes down to it, it's a choice. That's all it is. Some people choose to be a vegan, and that's their choice. Some people choose to be meat eaters, and that's their choice. And there is no moral standard involved. It's up to you. You got to do what works for you.
That was the point.
Yeah, I need to rephrase my point really quick. So it's either I got only two choices. I either accept what Slick say about vegans, they can go days without taking a shower and not smelling, their gases don't smell, or I can just deny it. So it's either I accept your information without you providing any evidence, therefore, should I say believe in you, or just not believe you. I choose not to believe you unless you provide evidence to back up your claim. Thank you very much.
Sure, and no problem. And the thing is, because it's not about belief, it's just information. I'm not saying it for you to believe it or disbelieve it. I'm just giving you information. That's how all information is supposed to be. I'm not into
So you're spreading
beliefs.
false news because you're not providing any evidence to back up
No,
your claim.
no,
You're just
it's
telling me
not.
a just so story.
It's not false news. It's information.
It's your testimony. It's your testimony.
It's information. It's just information. That's all it is.
It's just your testimony. You're just telling us a just so story, and you want us to either take it or not.
I don't want you to do anything.
You can just tell us your testimony. Appreciate, brother.
It's information, Jose. Listen, all information is information. You can do with it what you want. It's just information.
I just wipe it down my ass. There you go, the ass, because it's for nothing.
That's your choice. That's the beauty of choice. You can do whatever you want with the information.
Yeah, I call it just so study. It's just
that's fine. That's just fine. No worries.
You want to call it information? It's right.
No worries. Do what
Sean,
works for you.
Everything you said, Sean, about them running a script on every one of their topics.
Chonji, I got you this. That's a racist comment that they're playing through typed in there.
I didn't see what he said.
He say mojado. That's a racist comment.
Is it
Spanish? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Travis.
Just out of nowhere. Just no.
You earned yourself a timeout and a loss of that wrench. You can have it back once you learn to be an adult.
But yeah, your advice was right, and I kind of knew what I was getting into. I've been working on their server for about the last 2 weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
But they play the NTT game. They play your morals should line up with their morals that you wouldn't hurt other human beings, which that's an easy one for me. When you try to get them to answer a question, they don't have one. Everything that would be back down to eventually a personal choice, and they didn't like I ran them down that road either.
But by being a vegan, I understand their point. Because what they do is that they, a lot of them have compassion for those animals, and you can't fault them for that.
I have compassion for the animals. There's over 50 of them here right now.
Well, yeah, because that's a situation. Because what happened when I went there, Slick, is, for instance, like, okay, I'll preface this now. For the past 2 years, I haven't hunted, but I do come from the argument as a hunter, where I don't overkill. I kill what only my family and friends that I trade with, different types of meat and stuff to change it up. But for them, the argument is the slaughtering of them. But I'm not slaughtering them. I'm actually proficient in one shot, one kill, because I have to. Mm-hmm.
Right. What you're saying is you do the same thing that they do in the animal kingdom. It's survival. In other words, predator prey. That's the world we live in. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the fact that hunting in itself is conservation of what they stand for. Really, it really fucks their argument up, because it's I'm doing something from a good side.
That fucked their argument up, and I got 2 of them to concede with me on that point. And that should be recorded in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, they'll say something. There's a few in there. Like, there was a guy in there that because I was asking him, I was like, well, what's the difference between all the animals that are killed during the harvesting of all these crops and stuff? And it wasn't like a got you thing. It was me just asking him, and he said, like, I don't know. I was like, is there a problem with hunting? And he's like, I don't have a problem with hunting. They didn't like that he said that, so they got pretty upset. And they pulled him to a room and they talked to him. It's a weird place. It's a very weird place.
They were trying to pull their people to other rooms to have conversations with them for conceding and agreeing with me and they and them. Like, they tried that tactic too. And it didn't work.
You know what I don't understand, Crash, is why do you think this is some type of victory or something? Why do you feel that you are victorious in this?
I didn't say I was victorious. I was just
saying. I know, but the way you're talking about it, you sound like that you won a debate or something.
No, we won the fact that we had fun.
Yes, we had a good time over there, and we actually had good conversations with a couple of people.
Yeah, you being a Josh, time is over, Slick, for today. I think you don't have to understand or accept some of the facts that's going down. You don't have to interpret everything for your likings. All right.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. You let me worry about me, and you worry about yourself, and I think everything will work out much better for both of us.
It was a good time. We had the first 30 minutes should actually have most of the good conversation on it, because I think that's right before they jumped in with that NTT argument.
Now, you were saying something, and I know I don't think I heard Slick stated at all, but someone did they do the whole how it's healthier thing?
Well,
we didn't get that far before they ran the NTT game.
Okay, yeah, at that point they're not. Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to, but the person that's willing to come over here for the discussion helped us actually shut that down, because she said at the moment there is no concrete evidence one way or the other about the diet.
And then they tried to shut her up.
Yeah, they don't like that. They hate when people are in. That's why they have a room. And the person that I was talking to told me this. They have a vegan only room where they pull vegans that don't sound vegan enough.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of where they're coming from. Crash, you got a dog, right?
I have several.
Okay, I know.
Hold on. No, just hang in there.
Prepared for the answer, though.
Don't worry. He's having a conversation.
I know, but I want to have.
I want to have. Slick. He haven't spoken tonight.
I want to hear whatever answer's coming. So, Crash, do you love your dogs?
I have 2 dogs that are family dogs, and I have a pack of hunting dogs that I do not feel the same way about.
I know, but I'm just saying, the ones that you love them?
Seeing as how one is my service dog, yes, I love her very much.
Okay, the vegans, they feel about all animals like you feel about your service dog.
Hey, Crash,
yes, I know.
Crash, hey, Crash. I have a
Yes.
question, Crash. You're stuck, you and Nicole, go on a nice hiking trip. You're stuck out 30 miles out, and it's day 8. You got no food, and Nicole's having, some serious complications.
Plain truth. The plain truth did it again. He just typed the same comment again.
Yeah, dude, what the fuck? Travis, you don't have to do that. You can just ask me to ban you from my fucking channel.
Damn.
Like, seriously, you don't.
That's like calling a black person the N-word, like over and over. Like, for real, it's disrespectful.
Well, you do realize that during our debate, he got racist at least 3 different times, to the point where me and Danielle were like, "What the fuck, Travis?" Yeah, he's obviously a racist cuck. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. What was I saying? Oh, okay. So basically, fuck it. What are all the scenarios? You have to fucking eat. Would you cook those dogs?
If I had no other choice, yes.
No other choice. Survival.
No other choice, yes.
There you go, Slick. that's where that conversation would have led in that vegan room.
No, I understand that, but the point that I'm trying to make is, in speaking on behalf of the vegans, see, they have the same type, like the love that he has for his service dog. They just have that same kind of love for all animals that exist.
Okay. So I'll ask you the same question that I failed to answer. There are no predators in the UK. If we stop hunting animals like deer, or if we introduce predators large enough to bring to control the number of deer, which is more humane and kind to the animal? Hitting it, killing it with a high-powered rifle with one shot, or allowing these wolves to chase them for miles across the countryside and then ripping them apart?
Right. Like I said, I understand that it's much easier to go real quick than it is to be tortured. I get that.
Yes, their arguments didn't really have much standing with me, because at the end of the day, if it comes down to my survival, it's going to be the quickest available food source, whether that be my dog or an animal I could kill, because it just takes way too long to grow some vegetables in a survival scenario.
This is a slight change of topic, but just in the background, I really enjoy daylight moon videos, Montreal video is what we got on screen right now. So shout out to SC Montreal.
I didn't know Montreal was doing video uploads. You should have told me, Montreal.
Is this Montreal and his new camera?
Yes, it is.
Oh, and that's the other thing. My phone went dead earlier, Jose. Did Dan the Liar Man say anything about my challenge?
No, he did not. He just swept it under the rug and just didn't answer.
Yeah, I'm going to state this for the record. The video he was showing on the beach, that was not his.
Interesting.
He's been showing that same footage. He shows 3 different videos. The one from a flat earther who's had the camera on the beach with Nathan and what's his name? Flat Earth Uber Flat Earth. He was there.
Yes.
He's telling me right now. He told me about this whole situation. The first one, Dan wasn't there. That was one of the Nat Geo experiments that he keeps showing. He wasn't there. The second one, he was there. Yes. But he had nothing to do with the experiments. He was like, the flat earthers that gathered up while it was going on. The reason I call him Dan the Hamburger Man is because Dan was the flat earth cook. He wasn't taking part in any of the experiments that they were doing. It was literally just he was there.
H&G, there's a guy, all people, free people in the chat. He typed in a comment. He's good people, man. He's legit. He was my first ever live viewer on my channel, and he still watches my show.
Does he need a wrench?
Yeah, he doesn't have it. He pop in every once in a while, but I just saw a comment here.
If I see him, I'll do it. I'm looking through it right now. I'm looking for him.
Hey, Sean,
it's not too far up.
Sorry, Jose, I got a lag. I just jumped in to go over the debate very quick, but I'm getting ready to lock my animals down before this storm gets here, so I will jump in the YouTube chat in a few minutes.
All right, be safe out there.
Yep.
Yeah, there he is in the chat. Yeah, I see him.
He's just
shout out to all people, free people.
Cool, I got you.
Montreal, if you can hear us, I have to say it's good to see somebody who can focus a camera and get good quality shots. Fair play.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing a couple road trips for observations because I got a camera. Thank you, Jose.
Yeah, that's nice. Dude, Dan the Waterman was after show for hours and hours. I hit recording and I just stepped out and I watched a bunch of other uploads. I took a nap. I was sleeping. I did hours of doing stuff. When I went back and logged in, he was still going with like Stingray and stuff. He was there for hours, bro.
Yeah, that
hitting the bong.
Oh yeah. He loves smoking that bong on camera. Yeah, that dude's special. Not to mention, I think I played it. Remember? Okay, so it's on my Truth Army account. I'll probably end up uploading it over here because he's back around again. But I uploaded the hangout that me, him, and Huey were in. And he's like, he said, I'm not a flat earther. I'm just using flat earth as my platform for the things I want to do. That dude's he's the worst. He's the worst.
Did I mean? And I actually just watched the video last week with Jubilee or whatever. One of them channels that he got like kind of a debate with some scientists. Yeah. Because I didn't know it was in that channel. I actually followed that channel and I watched some of their stuff. Like sweeping girls to the left or to the right, doing funny stuff. And then I saw one, like, I said, oh, holy shit, that's not the Waterman. Let me see this. It was interesting. Yeah, he got millions of views,
Yeah, that was one of those situations that we've all talked about where some really smart ass minds who have never heard of this argument, never heard of what's going on. And they're just like, well, it's this and this. And then he refutes it and they're like, why is he refute? They just don't know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, it's like the first time when Conspiracy Cats, his first debate with Anthony Riley or whatever, and he didn't know what he was getting into, So interesting stuff.
Yeah, that guy, he's a special kind of guy. He's one of those guys where the second you realize what he doesn't know or understand, you put him in that corner, he gets all defensive. I'm not sure if you saw in there, like if you ask Dan about what the index of refraction is. You know, because understanding what we're seeing in the distance, he has no clue. Like he will flip out. It's weird.
Yeah, I haven't done in maybe a month or a little over a month, but I do like kind of debating people a little bit on person in the daily basis, either in supermarkets or whatever. When I'm riding around, if I got time to stand chill, but I debate him as a flat earther because I really like to make him question where they are, their reality. How do you know you're on a globe? So if I start chatting with them, I say, "Oh, I'll just do little YouTube videos." Like, really? I say, take a look. Like, holy shit, you got a big channel. I say, nah. Yeah, what do you talk? I say, a little bit about conspiracies, a lot more about flat Earth and the globe debate. Have you heard about it? They say, like, flat Earth, like, well, like I heard that. Is that a real thing? And I go like, all right, how can you tell me, the shape of the earth? How do you know the shape of the earth standing here on the ground? Oh, but I've seen pictures on space or whatever. So I take him by the hand, like, no, think about this. Like, let's take a step at a time. And I get him thinking. At the end, they go like, damn, thanks, man. You got me thinking. So it's good. I really make people question the reality. I appreciate that.
I don't think people on a regular basis at all ever think about it. It's not a thing to be. Why would it be a thing? Why would I need to know why the Earth rotates? You know what I mean? And again, I'm grateful for it, the fact to be here and get the opportunity to understand it and learn and progress and be able to display what I've learned to everyone, like situations. It's fun. It literally is. If you don't think this is fun, you're in the wrong fucking place.
Exactly. And I tell them, I mean, it's nothing that is going to affect your life or mine whatsoever. But if you are a little bored sometimes and you like Googling stuff or watching videos, just look. And whenever you're in the beach or the outside of fishing or hanging out, just look around you and look up and just question, like the scale of where we at, how big is the earth? And like the real shape, do you really see the curvature or not? Like when you're in a plane, think about, have you seen the curve? So and some people go leave mind blown, like, damn, man, like, you screwed me up. I'm gonna be looking at that shit now, So it's good.
Yeah, like I said, this inspired me to do all the shit I did. Go meet fake people. I mean, Travis and all that other stuff. So that my idea, what I want to do, because pretty much every weekend I want to go do something. So I think I'm gonna go out to Salton Sea. It's only literally an hour and 15 minutes for me. Obviously, I can't do the same things that National Geographic did with the laser and the mirrors and all that stuff. But I just want to make the point of where Dan kept saying, or someone kept asking, I think it was Lael, kept saying, why can't we see the base of the mountains? And he kept saying, you can. I want to show that is such a lie. Because not only can you not see, there's two reasons you can't see the base of those mountains. One, the road that he's talking about, and the house, like all the recreation center, it's all elevated off the shoreline, like it's about 30 feet easy to where anything is. And then it's the road, and then there's a valley that actually goes behind where the road is on the other side, and then it picks back up, and then you start seeing the mountain. The thing is where you're looking from where he's at. I used to off-road there every weekend for years. So I know exactly what he was looking at. And the problem with what he's saying is directly where you see, the only point you can see the Salton Sea from that recreational off-road area is halfway up that mountain that you're looking at. And I know that because it runs you to the back side of that mountain. And then the only time you see it is when you come back on the other side and you see the Salton Sea. So where he was looking he's full of shit. Base of the mountain it's at least 1,000 feet below what he's seeing. So just in the fact that he's saying he's seeing the base, he's completely full of shit.
Yeah, because it's like, look at the big picture, If you're looking at a picture and you just want to take a look at the little dog that is standing in the shore, which he's a little cute chihuahua, but then when you look further away, it's a fucking shark in the water, bro. And look at that, it's a fucking plane crashing behind the mountains. You're not looking at the whole picture,
Yeah, it's dude's full of shit. I don't like them.
And like I say, for some of the Travis little criticism, this is feedback, positive feedback for Travis, if he's still listening. When he look at his observations, sometimes he's like, dude, I got like probably hundreds of hours of videos and pictures over here. I got tons of videos. Let me click and I'm going to start watching. He said, oh, I play all my videos in live in real time. Yeah, but if you click a video and play 30 seconds, you say like, yeah, I don't have to see this. I remember there's nothing in this one. Let me click on this one, scroll forward for a little bit. Like, this is the same thing that I got in the other one. Then you think you don't got anything because you're looking at the videos that you took with a certain mentality and certain point of view. You think you got nothing, but maybe you got a shitload of stuff that you missed because you're looking for something specific. Your brain is just keen to look at something. Give it to somebody else. Give it to an extra set of eyes and tell it like, hey, this is just a good old regular video, you know. See if you find something, you know.
Whoa. I don't think Travis wants to give his videos to anybody else. He did that.
I know, right? Yeah.
That dude, I'm telling you right now, that dude has mental scarring from Erebus.
Shit.
I am not kidding. The debate we had, he was very he for no reason brought up Erebus. It was just like Erebus. It was weird. It was awkward. Travis isn't all there anymore, guys. Again, you guys got to remember, he's a Glober now. He doesn't know how to handle this. I mean, when you argue for flat Earth for so long, and then someone
Sean, come on, man.
Now that there is slander, brother. That's slander.
Yeah, man, that's right.
That's fun. That's troll comments. Trolling is fun. Trolling is fun.
I'm sorry. I mean, he did.
Hey, Sean, thanks for showing my video before. The only time that I was able to talk, I couldn't talk. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, that was Jose. But I'm upset you didn't tell me because if I would have known, I would have shown it. Yeah, I would have definitely shown it.
Thank you, Jose.
Yeah, guys, it's not okay. I'm part trolling, but the other half of it is real. Travis described, put it this way, the way Right to Hand was like, yeah, gravity, okay, but I don't like the name. Travis agreed on like the rate, the testing. He agreed on all those things and said, yeah, he didn't like the name. So I changed the name. He said, yeah, then I agree with what you're saying. I put in the upload. And then he described to me the southern and the northern hemisphere the star trails. And then I said, Travis, because mind you this, and this goes out to any flat earther in the chat that wants to try to answer this. Okay, if we're in the northern hemisphere looking at towards the equator, vice versa in the south, the reason why, obviously, in my opinion, the star trails appear to be going in different directions is because of the perspective of the observer. Now, that may be a good argument in for perspective and how it could work, blah, blah, blah. But the problem is this. Throughout the night, from the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, you see different stars. And those different stars are what makes up that star trail. And if that star trail is made up of different stars, we got a problem. Because on a flat Earth, everything's rotating above us, everyone would see the same stars, just at different times of the night. But we don't.
Well, myself, I don't know a whole lot about this star thing, but one thing that does kind of stand out to me, which doesn't make sense, is that you should see a blur, because if the Earth is rotating while that time lapse is going on, you should see that's, you know what I'm saying? It looks like that's taken from a still position, so that seems suspect.
What do you mean? Oh, okay.
In other words, right.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but that would be what, I mean, you do see a blur. I mean, it's not, you don't see the star in detail.
No, you should see two blurs. You should see the blur from the time lapse, and then you should see the blur from the rotation. So you should have two sets of blurs, but you only have one.
How fast do you think we're moving, Slick?
Well, it doesn't matter. That's a time lapse. So in other words, that's covering a whole lot of time. That's covering enough time that there should be some blur in there. So that's too much stillness for a rotating Earth. I mean, I'm just saying.
You know, I never thought of that, Slick.
That's
That's a freaking good, good idea, man. Good suggestion there.
Sean,
never thought of that one.
In the back chat, I've put the link to the video. If you go to about 4 minutes, the star trails from the southern and northern hemisphere have been overlaid, and you can see them moving in the opposite directions against each other.
Right, but the problem is like I said, see, if you have something going on and you can find something wrong with it, well, then everything's wrong with it. So, because, you know, if you're missing that second blur, well, what else are you missing? You know what I mean? It just, that's why I said, once you know, that's me. That's just how I function.
No, that's a good catch there, Slick, because I never thought of this before. We got rotational blur, but we should have lateral blur as well.
Yep.
Unless I'm missing something.
Lateral blur. I think if the surface where you're standing is moving fast enough, you will have blur, but the movement is, I mean, you get only one rotation per day, like all around Earth. You know, it's just 15 degrees per hour. Yeah, there's no blur. Earth movement is relatively for what you feel is too slow.
No disrespect, but that's what I call just having an ass full of explanations and pulling one out at will.
Well, before we start a scrap here,
isn't that just what you did with the so much we should have blur?
No, but check this out. He has a point here. Listen to this logic here now.
No, he doesn't.
The rotation of the Earth is going around, right? It's moving at 1,000 miles an hour, which we get the blur of the stars. I get that. But we're also traveling at 66,000 miles around the sun, right? Now, I could be wrong about this, but just think about it. Think about this. Slick is onto something here. Shouldn't we see a lateral blur?
No.
No, because that's even slower. Relative to how
if you're driving on a car in a highway going at 60 miles an hour, and then you see a mountain far in the distance, like fairly far away, is the mountain blurring while the foreground itself is blurring?
That's a false equivalency.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's exactly what you guys are trying to expect to see is the stars blurring because of some other movement. But the fact is the stars are so far away, of course you're not going to see any blur, even with the Earth's rotation.
Like I said, you could try and pulling that one out on somebody else, but it's not working on me.
Hey, it's not my fault you don't understand physics, all right?
Is, somebody else may fall for that explanation, but I'm not.
That's good. Don't.
Dark Seed say.
Big Blue,
Wait.
surprised
I started before you, Slick. I started speaking before you.
Oh, so what?
Just one sentence. We gotta respect when people speaking. You don't interrupt them like that. Oh, Dark Seed say. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Go ahead and make your point.
Oh, for fuck's sake, we just witnessed of a new meme live. Boom. I'm glad to be part of it, Dark Seed. Boom. Thank you.
Big Blue, QE did a number on you today. Did you watch yourself in action?
Yeah, I watched it.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That was something else.
You think?
What did you think about what about the part where he got you when you said it's not relative density, but it's density? What was that about? What the heck was that?
I'm trying to remember exactly what you're talking about, Slick.
Well, that was towards the end. He had it up there where you said, and you even said it in your words. You said, I don't remember exactly, but you said something to the effect of, well, it's relative. It's not, well, you said it's relative density, but it's not density. Something like that. Some contradictory statement.
Something like it's density, not relative density, or something like that. Slick, I'll tell you what, in 2 hours of brain numbing bullshit, if you don't manage to misspeak once, I'd be really surprised, buddy.
Well, no, I understand. Listen, I'm not questioning motive or what happened. I'm just saying, he kind of caught it, and made a whole,
Well, I would suggest that perhaps if you enjoyed that today, you might want to tune in Thursday night around 7 o'clock on Dr. Bob's channel.
Yeah, you might want to do
Dr. Bob. Oh,
that.
that's no
Yeah,
problem.
you
Dr.
might
Bob.
want to do that.
Dr. Bob's very entertaining.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, by the way,
That's Mr.
silliness,
PhD.
I'm not a PhD. That silliness you're talking about, the side blur. Okay, let's just go ahead and clear that up. The Earth rotates at 15 degrees per hour. All right. Compared to a star that's 70 light years away, how much does the Earth actually orbit? What's the distance of the Earth that the Earth orbits in one day compared to that 70 light years?
It goes a whole revolution.
Indistinguishable.
It goes the Earth goes.
No, you see the way. Okay, let's go ahead and do the math together, Slick. All right.
I thought the Earth rotated once a day.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with a star, though. However, let's go ahead and have a look at 70 light years radius. So you have to figure out the circumference of a circle with a radius of 70 light years. And then you have to look at the orbital.
Maybe you understand.
I'm sorry. We're talking. Grown folks is talking.
Yeah, I know. So why don't you just be quiet then and listen and maybe learn
Go ahead
something.
and continue.
So you have a circle.
Go ahead and continue.
You have a circle with a radius of 70 light years. That has a circumference on it. You look at the segment of that circumference that includes 24 hours distance in the orbit of the Earth around the sun. There is no change. I mean, the angle on that is so tiny. There's absolutely no way you would be able to see any sort of a lateral blur with that. The stars are essentially standing still as we move through the orbit 24 hours. It's just not actually 12 hours because you're only doing it at night. You're just not moving far enough to have any sort of a parallax change. To do parallax, you have to do 6 months. And then it's just a tiny fraction of a percent. But glad I could help you with that.
Well, you ain't helped me with anything. You could find somebody else to run that game on. That ain't flying with me. That's just a bunch of word salad.
Yeah, he didn't pay attention, Bob. Right.
Well, I mean, he can't pay attention. It's that's more for people that actually understand some math.
Well, you expect somebody to fall for that bullshit that you talking. That's just some shit that ain't nobody talk about anything about some light years and all that shit. Ain't got nothing to do with anything. What the hell are you talking about? What light years?
He doesn't understand, Bob. Sorry. I mean, that's his way over. He said, and you explained it so beautifully. I mean, easy, in a very dumbed down, but yeah, he won't get it.
Hey, Jose, he explained it eloquently. Is that how he explained it? Eloquently, right?
Eloquently, yeah. Thank you. Shout out to me being bilingual and being able to speak a second language. Boom.
Why don't you tell him it in Spanish, Jose? And then mock him for not understanding.
Bob lo dijo muy elocuentemente y muy fácil para entender, Slick.
When
so
Jose
you see, I not only did it simple, I did it eloquently and simply. Because at least I can understand what he's talking about.
When Quantum Eraser replayed that 3 or 4 times, when Quantum Eraser played that 3 or 4 times, but you babbling and not making no sense, Two-Face, that shit was hilarious.
Dude, I'm doing my show. I had 140 people watching while he had 100 of his little minions watching him.
Sure,
I wasn't paying attention to him. I had my own thing going, man.
You'll enjoy it.
So you just babble when you ain't paying attention. You just say shit that don't make any sense.
You'll enjoy it tomorrow. Your little mentor there will not enjoy it.
Listen, it's not my mentor. So me and QE don't get along, so it's not my mentor.
Since you're his minion, why don't you go ahead and tell him
Didn't I just tell you that me and him don't get along? I told you that.
I don't really
so what
care
are you
what
talking
you
about?
say. I'm telling you that.
So stop talking about some minion. Just because he got in somebody's ass, don't mean that I'm.
When you go back and report to him, tell him I'm challenging him to show up at that live stream where I will destroy him live.
Didn't he do a tag on you already? I think he did a toe tag on you already.
Destroy him again,
I know,
Bob. You mean you're gonna destroy him again, Bob? You mean yes?
Yeah.
I mean, if you already
after the gravity thing I did 2 days ago, I was normally going to let him lick his wounds for a few days. But this live stream that he did today irritated me enough that I'm just going to basically take him apart again Thursday night.
Oh, sure you are. Of course you are, Bob.
Did you hear the original debate, Slick?
Let me see. No, all I heard was, like I said, I just happened to tune into
Okay,
the
so
show.
you're just
and I
talking
was
out your ass. I got it.
Well,
So
what are you talking about?
You didn't hear
Wait a minute.
what
Hold
actually.
on.
You didn't hear what
Hold
actually
on.
went down. Yeah, you hold on. You didn't hear what actually went down on Jose's channel.
Oh, yes.
when
Yes, I did hear that.
When I debated
Yes,
Brian, right?
Yes, I heard that. Yeah, I heard that.
Then you know exactly what kind of game QE was playing today, don't you?
Well, not really, because Brian Logic
really?
did quite well. You don't think he did well on you?
No, I don't think
thought,
he did well.
Oh my God,
no.
no.
Slick.
What is wrong with you?
I thought he.
What in the hell
I
is
thought
wrong?
he scored. I thought he scored pretty good. I mean, if it wasn't for the see the only problem, Blue, the only thing I saw was the unfair moderation just leaned towards your side a little bit more. That's all.
The unfair moderation, Slick.
Yeah, the unfair moderator. You remember the moderator that you had that day?
Yeah, I
figure
do.
out how to tie his
Well, he was a little bit one-sided.
You recall that I actually like Brian. I feel bad for the guy, and I didn't want to look like I was beating up Bambi, so I kept playing along. Yeah,
you had a moderator. No, you had a moderator that was steering the ship for you.
Slick, Slick, stand down, son. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Watch your mouth.
No, you watch your mouth, boy.
I'll get in your ass.
No, you won't.
Okay, well, you better stand down.
Watch who
you talking to.
You
had unfair. You had unfair moderation.
Slick and QE, they don't talk. Actually, they actually hate each other pretty much. But with that being said, Quantum Eraser is probably the dumbest scammer I've ever met. And if you don't realize that just in general, there's a problem.
Sean, may I ask you a quick question?
No, I would like it to be drawn out and take time. Go ahead.
All right. The other day when you went through the tapes, did you see anybody playing little childish mute games and playing music deliberately to disrupt things? Why is that person still here?
Who?
Why do you tolerate things like that on your channel?
You didn't know about that, Chungy? Wow.
What? I don't know.
You weren't. You didn't witness any of that shit where he was playing rap music to purposely disrupt channels to the point that we had to start muting him, and then we all had to retreat over to a different. Then we had to retreat over to another server to continue our chat, which we were enjoying, and just playing little games with him over in the first one because I don't think he realized that we all left, and he's sitting here playing rap music the whole time just to disrupt the hangout. Do you tolerate that sort of behavior on your channel, Sean?
No, it wasn't on my channel.
Yeah, it was. It was on your hangout.
Wait, was it after
Discord?
The after stream?
Yeah, it was
just
the
when
after
you dropped your,
stream.
just when you picked your kids up.
I don't really
You didn't
care.
see any of that stuff?
No, it wasn't on my stream.
It was on your hangout and your stream, and that's the type of people you tolerate? Is that what you feel?
I didn't witness it.
Okay. Do you witness this?
Witness what? Oh, bye, Bob. I don't give a fuck, dude. First of all, check this out. Don't bring your fucking drama here like I'm going to suddenly kick Slick the fuck out. I wasn't there. I have no idea what's going on. And if it was in my after stream, Dr. Bob, then I sure as hell am not going to give a fuck if he didn't do it on my live stream. And if he did, I didn't know it. And I'm not going to instantly kick anybody per anybody's fucking request. Let you know that now. I produced this shit. It's mine. I don't care what other people think.
How spectacularly passive-aggressive was that?
Jesus Christ.
Sean? Do you feel ashamed of yourself, Sean? Sean?
Jesus
and you know what? Sean, he didn't tell you the whole story. Sean, let me tell you the whole story. After you went up.
Slick, let's make this clear.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck.
I
I just don't give a fuck. I'm going to tell you right now. Don't, if anyone thinks I give a fuck what happens away from here, I don't. I really don't. Travis gets
I let my
Travis
go.
and Travis and other people get in all these heated shit. I don't give a fuck. I give a fuck that it happened here and I saw it. I don't care if it's the after streams. I don't care. I'm not there. It's an after stream. Leave. Jeez, I get you guys like these good conversations and all this stuff, but like I'm not going to sit here and go, Slick, don't ever come back here from some shit that happened when I wasn't there. I'm not going to do it. Never going to happen. It's never going to happen. Never. I don't care. Because if that were the case, I'm sorry. I'm on Slick slide right now. Slick has done nothing but an adult, a great fucking moderator, and got a conversation through and made a fucking other person realize how ridiculous they were being. So no, I'm sorry. I don't see Slick in a bad light right now. Doesn't work. Maybe you should catch me when I'm in a bad mood. But I'm sure as hell don't care if you're on my panel, Bob. I mean, I care because you put out good information, but just like Rumpus and any other person, the second you get away from your information and you start getting personal and into your feelings, I don't give a fuck. Especially if you come at me like that. Tell me that shit in the side. If it was that big of a problem, Dr. Bob, you probably should have messaged me last night, not waited until you got on the panel and acted like I was going to kick Slick off in the middle of my live stream. Fuck that. I'll kick everyone off besides Slick because Slick is fucking on par today. Everyone said he couldn't moderate. He moderated. Everyone said he could have a good conversation. He had a great conversation until people came in and started coming in hot. And if everyone thinks I'm white knight and slick, if people think I'm white knight and slick, guess the fuck what I am. Because Slick just, I was supposed to just kick Slick the fuck off my panel because someone was upset what he did somewhere else when I wasn't there.
Hoorah!
I don't give a fuck. You guys stop thinking that kind of way.
Law, bro.
I love y'all, and a lot of you guys are my friends, and I'm grateful that you all put information in my ear. But that I'm not your bitch. I don't give a fuck about your personal shit. If someone does some shit like,
get it, Sean.
No, I'm not done. I'm pissed now. Because that kind of shit is fucking ridiculous to me. I hate it. I hate it with a fucking passion. I hate when people come in and go, done, go, bye, come back when. Fuck you. It's not your stream.
Oh, shit.
You think I give a fuck about your feelings when I've already told you, bye. I don't care if you do this. I don't care if you want to hear this. And then you're going to tell me, Slick did this, kick him off your panel. Is that the kind of person? The fuck? You didn't look. I'll go back to my YouTube, and if Slick did that during my live stream, I'll get pissed and I'll say something to Slick. If he didn't, Dr. Bob, don't ever come back to my panel. 'Cause that's some kid shit. Grow the fuck up. This is not the place for that shit. It's never worked. No one's ever been able to get by me on, oh, I don't like this person, do this now. I don't give a fuck.
Can I share my screen 1 second? I want to just share something with you guys because you know there's some panelists that hang out in this stream, in mine, in different. One of the person that always hang out in my streams is Brenda, but this message was sent to me earlier. Brenda says, public doxing will not be tolerated. Your video is getting a strike. Flagged your video. And I go, I don't understand, but go fuck yourself for doing it. And I blocked her. She will never be welcome on my stream. I have no idea what went down in Brenda's mind. I'm just letting you know, you guys are gonna miss Brenda. I won't.
This thing is really weird.
Shit,
This doesn't go to. Hang on. This doesn't go to everybody at all. So don't think it does. Because trust me, there are a lot of you guys that I don't give a fuck. I'll name it. I need you here. Period. But don't expect that I think I need you here. Because when you do that shit, I don't. I don't care. If Barney decided to get his fucking ego up his ass and be a fucking dick, rude ass motherfucker like just happened, I'd fucking kick Barney. Just so you understand, that's how I roll. And yes,
Sean, you know me so well.
I'm absolutely fucking triggered right now. Just so everyone gets where I'm coming from and why I'm not dropping it, because I was in a great fucking mood and then that shit happened. Because I was in a great mood, I was listening. Again, I'm on a white knight. So if you want to call it out, go ahead. I don't give a fuck. But I was listening to and enjoying the fact that Slick spent 2.5 hours talking to everyone with respect. And some people come in and boom, Slick's off to the races again. And yes, Jose, you're part of that. But guess what? I didn't say nothing because it's no big fucking deal. Jose,
I like
Jose, no. Listen, Jose came in and did that shit, and it's kind of funny. But at the same time, Jose didn't go, I'm sick of hearing fucking Slick. Are you gonna let that shit be on your channel? I think he should be gone. There's a big difference.
I leave sometimes. When that happens, I leave.
That's exactly it.
Either stay or leave.
Exactly. If you don't like what's going on, take the fuck off. If you don't like what's happening, bye. If you don't like this channel, bye. If you don't want to hear me, bye. All of the fucking above.
And he did.
I know, but I had to get that out. I had to get it out. I would have said it if he was here. I mean, like I said, don't become a rumpus.
The indignation.
Respect, bro. Bob's a dick. Everybody knows it.
It's ego. He knows he's smart, and I wish he just cut it out.
To do that, that's for sure.
Yes, if he would have DM'd me, it would have been completely different.
He thinks he's smarter than everybody else, man.
No,
that's his problem.
He is smarter than everybody else.
He is, yeah. He's extremely smarter than a lot of us. The thing is that
he's not.
You know, he is. He definitely is.
No, he's not.
No, he definitely is.
Montreal.
No, he's not.
Montreal. Put it this way.
He knows some shit about medicine. That's
Montreal.
about it.
Put it this way. Rumpus is of the smartest minds in this community. Problem? He doesn't know how to communicate. And there's a time and place for things. And if Bob would have hit me up in my DMs and told me what happened, I would hit up Slick. And today may not even have happened because I would probably would have got pissed. But the fact that it went down like that, because it was fine and dandy right up until he thought he could convince me to get him off this panel. And it wasn't even when he got here. It was after the conversation didn't go anywhere for him. And he wanted to use it as a fuck you, Slick. I don't fucking roll that way. Sorry.
Yeah, that wasn't the best of.
Why not?
Yeah, and I get my trigger right now is pretty overboard. Problem is that's what happens when if I'm in a good mood and you piss me off, and anyone can do it, not just flat earthers, anybody. And I'm the type, I'll say something, I don't care, and I'm in the mood for it. So.
That's kind of what happened to me. I got pushed, and when I got pushed, I pushed back.
I will say this time, Slick, you got pushed. There are times you purposely put this way. Anytime you go to gyms, you push.
No, I'm just talking about that incident that happened.
Okay.
I'm saying I got pushed, and I was just being.
Well, I don't really care. I was joking around just now about the gym part, but realistically, that's what when it's the after streams.
You threw the insults, you know.
Put it this way: after streams, and I don't know how Jose runs it, but it will always happen this way. They're the wild.
They go
West.
crazy. They go all over the place.
Like real shit.
I don't moderate it. I don't moderate them.
If I wanted to moderate a panel, I would continue my stream. That's the point where you guys don't have to worry about me saying shut the fuck up or don't do this, don't do that. Hey, here's a secret. When the my stream goes off, I don't care if you mute people. I don't give a fuck. It's like I said, you can come in as long as I'm here at my computer to accept you in. Otherwise, well, the after stream isn't my thing. Like I trust me. I haven't watched one of the after things. I want to watch the one from 2 weeks ago because I got pretty big. But guys, sorry, it's
they're not worth watching, really.
Like real shit. Like I know how they all go. Like it's not hard to think about it. Like it's real simple. I mean, realistically, the after stream thing is a situation for people. This is what the after stream to me it really is. It's when all the people in the chat that just don't have that I want to speak on a live stream panel that they can go there and some of them talk. There are people that come into the after streams, hang out, talk sometimes. There are a few people I've never heard before until after streams. But the realization is it's not policed. It's not. It's definitely and I'm not the person to come to be like I don't respond to that shit. Talk to me like an adult. Hey, Slick was kind of fucking up this blah 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 blah. Okay, I'll talk to Slick. I'm sorry, everyone's got this bad thing, but I don't. Again, he don't fuck with me at my house, so I don't have a problem with him. That's the way it works.
And see, people know how I.
May I? Mr. Victor in the side chat is saying something that I want to address. Says, okay, guys, Bob made a reaction mistake. It's between them. Don't shoot insults to Bob. I was shooting at Bob. I wasn't shooting insults at him. I was just pointing out what a misstep he made, what a mistake he made, because he really should know better. That us versus them and us sticking together to kick them out is really, really off par, right? That should be beneath him. He is a really smart guy. He should know better.
Yeah. I should be coming off the hinges like that. I am. Especially, again, when you put yourself in a situation that you are giving out information, it's a situation where you're being looked at, and it matters. That's the way it is. I'm sorry. Trust me, people remember me for my triggers. This is the way it is. I did miss a couple of super chats, so I'm going to go to read those real quick. I do apologize if they were for the moment. Opinionated Asshole says, Sean G is fair. We kind of love Slick. Opinionated Asshole again. Thank you, my friend. He says, okay, back to great show, gentlemen, women. Okay. All right. I'm calm. I'm calm.
Breathe.
I'm good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Why? Only because I'm close to 4 hours and I hate doing 4 hours.
That's logical. Okay.
Yeah. See, it happened to correlate. It's great.
Hey Sean, can you tell Slick no music today, please?
Yes. Slick, unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Slick. I understand. You're in a very, very confusing time at your age where things are just happening around you. You don't know how to express yourself, and these kids they don't want to play with you. I get it, but I need you to be the bigger kid. I need you to just go inside, let them play the video games. Trust me, they're gonna get bored. They'll go outside, and you'll get your turn. Now, I don't want to. Don't speak back. I don't want to have to take your dinner from you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Jose, we good?
Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Okay, I'm wheezing right now because I almost choked to death on a Melio.
And I want everyone to notice something. That will be the only
if
time.
I die, it's your fault.
Yeah. That'll be the only time you'll ever hear anybody talk to Slick like that and him not respond. Boom, bitches.
You think you're special now?
I prove shit left and right. No, I'm just fucking around. But no, but for real though, I think everyone. I don't think there's anyone that can disagree. Slick, you stepped the fuck up today, and thank you.
Yes, sir. I couldn't take it. I apologize. I watched the beginning when I heard Slick. I said, all right, let me explain this. What Sean means is this and that. I said, like, yep, I'm out. When I came back, it was all over. So I guess right the hand.
No. Watch it again, Jose.
You missed a good show, Jose.
The first couple ones.
I say the moderator job is not to make what they're saying or interpreting what they're trying to say. I don't know. I didn't.
Well, he was Jose. He basically booted right the hand out. He ran right the hand out. And he was right to do so.
No. What happened, Jose, was okay. So I agree. The first two times I think was a little slickish, but it wasn't Slick trying to do that. I think it was Slick getting his toes wet. Where can he do this? What can he say? He was trying to clarify things. It wasn't his opinion. He was trying to get us on the same page.
Slick?
Yes, I am. I'm pretty sure that's what it felt like to me. That's why I didn't react that way. Like I didn't. I didn't. I'm sorry. I'm again. What you guys? I'll go get a white knight suit if you guys need me to. All right. Maybe watch this. Maybe one day I'm going to call upon one of you guys to moderate a debate against someone you don't like and make sure you're non-biased and see if you guys can be up to par that Slick was today. Because wouldn't that be weird if, Jose, you had to moderate a debate between like Slick and like George? and you had to be non-biased. But you had to be non-biased because if you became biased, you would look worse than Slick at the moderating part.
No, yeah, I actually like when I'm not paying multitasking. I like paying attention because what I hear is the sounds. Which sound I hear more, because if I hear sounds, the slick tone of voice going and going and going and chopping in between, I go like, whoa, there's interrupting going. Now, if I hear George going and going and his tone interrupting, I go like, no, he's interrupting. So I go by really even. I put a balance to give same opportunity to speak to both sides. But I don't do the no. Let's get this clear interpretation. Now, if there's an obfuscation, I know when to jump in. Like, no, actually, let's stay in this point because this is the question asked. Let's not go to a different topic. So yeah, I think I will do all right. I'll be fair.
Well, I think Slick did a great job doing it, because when you hopped in it, I thought it was the right moments, because right the hand would just run all over what Sean was saying, and Sean couldn't finish what he was saying most of the time.
Yeah, you be proud, Jose. I didn't get triggered at all. It was awesome. It was fun.
That's good. I'll watch it.
It was worth it. I again put my white knight suit on. I think Slick did a great job. I'm sorry, I can't. Again, kudos to you, Slick. I'm gonna go ahead and get the hell out of here, guys. It was fun. I enjoyed that one. Slick, if you want to talk to right to hand, we can do it again. I think I'm gonna try to set up another debate, like a debate someone could moderate or something like that, and then we'll extend the stream from that on it, so that it's not the exact same beginning and then all that stuff, or we'll figure something out. But that guy's got to calm the fuck down. We may do a private debate. That may be awesome. Maybe if he doesn't have viewers, he doesn't do that.
Right, I hear you. But like I said, I will be talking to him. So
yeah, I'll talk to you soon. And again, thanks. Like, I do appreciate everything you did today.
Anytime.
Yep. And everyone else that joined in. Blue, are you, or you were saying on Thursday you and Dr. Bob are doing something?
Yeah, we're going to eviscerate Quantum Eraser at 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time. I guess it'll be Bob's time. So on his channel.
So that'd be 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for us Californians and Washington Oregonians.
Yeah, I think
so 8 o'clock regular time.
And earlier that day, Brian Logic, he made a challenge. He wants to debate somebody on my channel on my regular time in the morning, 11 a.m. Florida time. So if the Globe side want to debate Brian's pick, he is open for Thursday morning. Let me know, please, today or tomorrow, because tomorrow we need to set that up for Brian's Logic on Thursday morning.
Cool. Yeah. So everyone, I'm pretty sure they can get a code in your comment section, DM, server, etc. I got to do that. I got to get your server in there and just a few others. Yeah, that's the other thing. I started doing a few channels over at the bunker. Some of the people had their own little channels over at the Truth Frontline, but I'm gonna be honest. The Truth Frontline server, I'm probably gonna give that to one of my admin / designers, basically to develop that whole damn thing, and then moving everything to the bunker. A few of you guys may have started to notice a few more added channels and that kind of stuff. But if you have content and like a lot of observations that you like showing, and you want a spot that you can centrally put everything, just let me know and I'll build up a channel for you in the server, and that way you can put all your stuff there. For instance, Sean Smith, he has a channel. He does a lot. He posts a lot of his artwork, and that's pretty cool. You can go check that stuff out. If I do give up that server, Sean, I'm gonna probably copy and paste the crap out of all those and get them over to the bunker, just so they're still around, if that's okay with you.
Well, if you decide to do the membership thing, maybe you can do a little special for your panel members. Do like a real shout out to the channels, like show them, present their highlights and clips. Yeah. So, and just a feedback, an idea.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, what I meant, because there's I have I think about 3 or 4 channels in my Truth Frontline server that I made for people to do that. Like B-Ball has one, Sean has one, Erebus has one. The people that had channels, if you want one there, that's what I meant. Not everyone. I can't. That's too many channels like that. But yeah. But there are certain people that do share a lot. Crow, and I just because I wasn't remembering names. Like they had channels, and I know they like to share a lot of stuff on there. But yeah, I am going to be working in. I already have probably about 4 or 5 channels in the bunker for members only that I've started to set up and get working and rolling. What I'm going to do with it for when I do that. So that will be sooner or later, but probably in a month or so, we'll say. But other than that, anybody else? Yeah. Anybody else got anything going on? Anything you want to share real quick before I get out of here? No? All right.
I bought a new guitar today.
Did
I
you,
went
buddy?
to buy strings and bought a guitar.
Oh, Jesus. What the?
Do you even play, man?
Yeah.
Oh, Sean.
I've been playing for years. It's just, I'm it's just like anything else. I pick it up, I put it down. I pick it up, I put it down. But yeah, I've been playing for years. But yeah, I broke a string the other day, and I was like, okay, well, I'll play it as a 5-string, but nope, I couldn't do it.
I have an idea.
I went out to pick up strings.
I have an idea.
Quick idea, Sean.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's probably the same thing. I think Jose and Sean Smith should do a concert night.
Oh shit! No, I got an idea.
I have no sense of timing.
when we get this new upload from Sean Smith, a 5-minute video, and you see him preparing the canvas and putting the paint in real time with a dun, 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 with a slow beat on the guitar, and then you see the time lapse like going really fast, him painting stuff and the guitar going crazy, da, 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 edited, and then at the end when he reveal it, then you go back to slow to the nice smooth end. This big ass beautiful production by Sean Smith, all by you, man. Looking forward for that.
Yeah.
Damn.
No pressure.
All right, I'll get to work.
No pressure.
None at all.
All right, guys.
Yeah, I like it.
I'll be back in a little bit. I'm just going to go and meet you guys out so I can't hear you in my ears. But I do appreciate everyone. Again, thank you. Hang on. Put my white knight on. Thank you, Slick. Appreciate it again, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the show, Sean G.
Yep, no problem, guys.
Thanks,
All
Sean.
right.
This was one of the best shows.
Thanks,
Shout out to
that.
Slick.
All right, guys. So again, it was a fun stream. Again, it was one of those situations where Right to Hand just really screwed himself. And again, I know you guys are sick of hearing it, but props to Slick. He's the one who stepped up. And for everyone that said Slick could never moderate, boom, bitches. With that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get the hell out of here. Stop talking in your guys' ear. Peace.
the Earth flat? No, it's not flat. Okay, it's not flat.